That's funny because that's gonna come up in one of my goddamn
Your
one of
recap?
these things. This might be not the recap. No,
Okay,
the other thing.
okay.
This might be a little bit of a long episode. I ain't even gonna hold niggas like, bruh. All right, let me see. All right, I need to get the link and I need to send it to him. YouTube link. So I gotta go to YouTube.
Oh shit! Yeah, I gotta go to YouTube as well.
Yo, Surf got stumbles taking off at Sun Madness.
I heard.
What up?
What up? I heard bits and pieces of that, and so I see this. I saw people's takes, a little bit of takes on it, and I was thinking to myself, so y'all don't see that he actually Stumbles got himself taken off of there.
Facts.
When he showed up at that man's show trying to intimidate him with all them people, what businessman
did you think was going to happen?
You think Smack, and then think about what happened at the last event where the dude pulled out the knife and Surf
and
boys
shut that shit down.
Shit out of him, right? What you think gonna happen to Stumbles?
Right.
Potentially there. Like if Stumbles a street nigga, right? He know you better come there with some boys. But if you come there with some boys, Surf's gonna have his boys. This could potentially create a confrontation.
Not only Surf, but yeah, nigga.
The Fabo.
Nigga, talk about recovery. But yeah, not only Surf Boy's gonna be there, Rock people gonna be there. Easy people gonna be there. Chess people gonna be there.
Come on, yo. Like we not doing that. We not like and you know, fucking Smack ain't crazy. Nope. Smack ain't crazy. He like, yo, nah, B. Smack from the streets. Smack from the old Smack era DVDs where he was out there. You know what that shit can degenerate to. You know how many fucking fights broke out that they didn't record? You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, man. Ain't nobody taking that chance, and it's too much money involved in this now for yo to be letting that shit go like that.
Facts. Nah, we ain't about to do that. That don't even make no sense.
It don't. I don't blame him. So Stumbles did that to himself, and I remember at the time when it first came out that's what he did, right? I was like, that's stupid. That's dumb. Like, why would you do that? Now, if something had went crazy, and Surf people had been there and decided to wild y'all out, and it would have been this big brouhaha, right? Like, then what? So what goes around comes around, right? Now, instead of Stumbles whining about some shit that he actually started, you know what he could do? Go to RBE.
Like, that's real. I didn't even hold you. That's real shit.
But Kenneth said it's only 93.
Hey, that's
good for Florida, right?
Given recent, yeah. He talking about he quitting.
That's cap. He potentially make too much.
It don't
money
even make sense. Yeah.
That. So
it don't make no sense.
That's
he went on a little run. I wouldn't say he deserved. Damn it! I wouldn't say he deserved Summer Madness yet.
No, he don't deserve no Summer Madness yet. But I will say this:
on a little run,
and Stumbles nice. Like Stumbles has all the stuff. You know what I'm saying? That he could potentially become a big name. When I listen to his delivery, when he actually gets it right, it doesn't stumble. I listen to his delivery and just his thought process, the way he constructs the bars, and how theatrical and dramatic he is.
Yeah.
With shit, right?
Skill, talent wise, he belongs there. He's
temperament, enough. His temperament needs. He's working on his temperament, and he just hasn't done enough. He needs.
He's had a recent issue with stumbles. He's not consistent enough yet. He hasn't been consistent enough long enough.
Yeah.
To demand a spot on.
That's what I'm saying. Like, B. And truth be told, until he fixes temperament, he never will. Because one thing I notice about Stumbles, just how he presents. Because I don't know the nigga personally. Right. He has a persecution complex.
Oh, facts.
He has a persecution.
I remember the one video I watched where he was crying about Jay Black, talking about, oh, I don't fuck with Jay Black.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the
fuck?
How
do you not? Yo, first of all,
he's doing his job.
And how do you not fuck with Jay Black? I'm gonna tell you, yo, niggas don't get mad. It's about 100 or so battle rap bloggers and vloggers. Jay Black's the GOAT. I don't care what you say.
He's the one that stands out in a good way.
He stands out in a good way. His presentation is very professional, yet it's still hood, right? And he decided to invest his money to make his product look like some shit. Like yo, when a lot of y'all guys was in your garages with pitchforks and axes and shit, or in your car, like yo, he went, had a whole little studio shit built up. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, Jay Black is the GOAT. He's the GOAT.
And all video is a lie. That's a house.
Yes.
That's a room.
That's a little house. Yo, because somebody else said it's smaller than it looked. Of course, that lens, lens, they didn't listen. That's the reason. Wide shot. That's why that shit look big. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's going to be a long one. Let's get this shit on the road because I got a couple people watching that that got to get to work.
Oh damn!
They specifically has been asking me about. Yeah.
All right,
let's get this shit on the road.
Welcome everyone to the Black Culture Geeks podcast. This is my man SPJ.
You
and I am Tombstone the Dead Man, and we are just a couple of geeks talking about pop culture from a black perspective. Facts indeed. Now, my man SPJ has been out of the country.
Indeed.
For a while.
I mean,
a week, right? It was like a week, right?
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
sure.
You know what I'm saying? You know, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna betray a little confidence here. What up, Secular? He hit me up in the inbox like, yo, can I just live here? why can't I stay?
Specifically, how long would it take them to catch on if I checked out but just didn't leave?
Didn't leave the country.
Just didn't leave. Shit, didn't leave the resort. Because look, I'm not against sleeping outside on a couple nights.
It's nice.
Well, when it's not raining.
Oh,
I'll get into that though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I gotta jump right into that. Usually when I come back from these trips, we slow roll it, and that's the main attraction. But I gotta jump in quickly.
It's a lot.
All right. First of all,
first.
I mean, ignorant niggas.
Shout out to my man CJ and my man Bucky, because we used to do that shit all the time. We're just reversing.
Yes, the hurricane is headed that way, and we got we got the begin. Yes, Cindy hit me up Thursday and was like, "Are you still on the DR?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Fiona on his way."
Holy,
like, oh,
Fiona. And so, you know Shrek ain't too far.
I was like, "Oh no, I don't want no parts. I don't want no parts of Fiona." We got parts of Fiona because you know how it is in the Caribbean when they start, they send feelers out first.
Yeah, buddy.
Like, yo, go ahead and me. Let them know I'm coming.
Hurls.
Because 2 of those nights, bruh, 2 of those nights, and luckily it only happened at night, but 2 of those nights, torrential downpour. But ignorant niggas everywhere. So we're in the airport, and this lady that is talking over the loudspeaker for boarding and whatnot is giving clear, loud, audible directions. Very simple ones too. Specifically that if you have not yet been called, don't crowd the boarding area. This one lady is doing the exact opposite. She's standing in the middle of the lane for boarding, just standing there. And people are having to squeeze past her to board. Then, on another flight, there's like 20 people just standing literally just left of the line, so that in the overall it looks like they're all in line.
Right.
No, they're just standing there. I noticed because I happened to look forward and I see this big ass gap.
Right.
Like, why is nobody moving?
Right.
All right. But yeah. So I get on another plane. My first flight, I had to roll all to myself. Oh, the beauty. The beauty.
I get it.
My second flight, because I did 4 flights, 2 layovers. My second flight, I got on the plane, started walking. I know better than to assume that all of them was going to be like the first flight.
Right.
But you still have wishful thinking a little bit.
Of course.
So I get to the seat, and there's 2 people. All right. Okay. There's a woman and a man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Matter of fact, let me do it in a different order. Okay. So I get on one plane, and there's this woman just chilling in my seat.
Right, Cindy. Always one asshole.
Oh no, there's always more. They're mutants. They're not regular humans. It's more than one asshole. Anyway,
Jamie Madrox,
bruh,
multiple assholes.
So this is woman just chilling in my seat. So I walk up. I'm like, I'm pretty sure you're in my seat. Oh, I'm in your seat?
Yeah.
Yes, you're in my seat. Here's the worst part about it. My seat was 6A. She wasn't supposed to be in the 6th row at all.
Wow.
She went back at least 7 rows. Why the fuck were you in my seat? Like, what is going on here? All right, okay, fine. Okay. So I get on. Then you have the other douchebags who will be in a group of 2,
right?
And in the airport, not on the plane, in the airport, they will sit in the middle 2 seats of a 4-seat bench.
Right.
Why? It's an airport. None of us want to be close to each other. It's
Facts.
just the nature of the thing.
Yeah.
Don't be a douchebag. Like, come
Too
on.
late.
Anyway.
Too late.
So, like I said, on the first plane, I had the entire row to myself. That would have pretty much made for a perfect trip if all of it was like that. But the issue is, it wasn't meant to be. By the time one of the ladies that came on the trip was ready to book her trip, she felt that the best flight, that is kind of indicative of what was going on. But anyway.
Well, yeah. See, while you were talking, I was creating visual aids,
the ambiance,
mid journey,
effectively.
Yeah.
Right.
So this is Fiona, y'all, and we're as we did. When she went to book her trip, she felt like the best option was the Spirit Airlines flight with a layover. No,
and you know I'm not about.
No, not Soul Plane, yo.
No, here's the thing. Wait. Oh, this is not to say that nothing bad has ever happened on Spirit Airlines.
Right.
But I've been on technically 5 different Spirit flights now.
Oh my god, yo,
it's exaggerated. No, nigga, it's exaggerated.
But it's called.
It's grossly exaggerated.
Bird is a soul.
Shut up, nigga. It's greatly exaggerated how bad Spirit is. Like, it's. You know what's funny? No. That's because that's what my homegirl always says. That's exactly what my homegirl always says. This shit is greatly exaggerated. It's not really the main thing.
And that was
here's the thing. No. Here's the thing. These things were true at one point.
Mm-hmm.
These things were absolutely shit didn't come out of nowhere.
Right,
These things were absolutely true at one point.
Right.
I think it just as most things do, it got better over time because you can't be sustainable.
And you can't keep having. Yeah, you wouldn't stay.
Bruh, there's no way. So anyway,
go ahead.
Listen, it wasn't. Again, it wasn't my. I didn't do it.
Right.
She had booked, and I'm like, I'm not gonna let her fly by herself, because everybody else had already had their flight. I'm not gonna let her fly by herself, so I'm like, all right, cool. I joined her flight. So on the second flight on the trip to the Dominican Republic, I'm 100% certain that I'm not gonna get lucky and get the whole row.
Right.
But I was being stupidly wishful in my thinking. Alas, nope. As I approach my seat, I see two people. I initially think they're a couple. They move and let me get on, because I had the window seat. So the flight starts. I was uncomfortable, but not for obvious reasons.
Well, the shit McKenna in there talking about right now, that's very scary. That's very scary.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
Jeez.
Here's the thing. There's anecdotal evidence of this type of things happening in all airlines.
Absolutely no.
Right.
More than even. Well, I guess it is anecdotal because airplane flight is still the safest form of travel.
Right.
All that. So if you jumping in the car every day, you know what I'm saying, going back and forth.
Exactly.
You are taking
you have a
risk.
much higher risk.
Chance to get
yeah. But it is what it is. Again, the perception is the perception for a reason.
Yeah.
It just shouldn't still be the perception, but it is what it is. So I'm uncomfortable, but not for obvious reasons. I'm aware of how flights work. I don't have a problem with the inevitabilities that are involved because I know it's a necessary evil.
And another thing in their defense, it hasn't been just Spirit Airlines with fucked up flights.
Oh, that's
in these last few months. It's been Southwest.
Everybody.
It's been pretty much.
But that's because of the whole nature of the pandemic and how all that shit went. And so this woman. So the woman was in the middle seat.
Mm-hmm.
This woman was thick. I mean, like 2000s video vixen thick.
Oh wow.
And she had her thighs out. So it was almost. But the weird thing is, it was almost as if she was leaning more towards me than of the dude.
Mm-hmm.
Also, they weren't communicating. Like at all. So I'm like, okay, maybe they aren't together. Midway through the flight, when the flight attendant comes by, no. Midway through the flight, when the flight attendant comes by, he buys her a drink. Now I'm super confused.
Right.
Like, why the fuck are you leaning my way if your people's is right next to you?
Right.
No matter what the relationship is, no matter if that's her brother, no matter if that's just her friend, lean his way.
Right.
But that was it. That was really it for the ride there. So we were trying our best to get into the same building at the resort. But there are like 9 buildings. And ironically, because most of us had the swim out pool room, we didn't all get there at the same time, and we didn't all book through the same place. Right. That made it a little difficult for us to all be in the same building.
Right.
They would have originally had a split between. That's funny. That's ew. Why?
I don't know.
Mid-Journey's not good with text.
Yeah, I didn't have time. Right. I didn't have time to really go in. So I took the first thing that popped up.
Oh, Fab said he had the same situation coming back home.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. So, like I said, we're trying our best to get in the same building again because of the various things going on. Realistically, it was a really hard ask.
Yes.
So when I was almost there, because they got there before us, because we had the layover, it was only 2 of us with me, and the other 5 were on the same flight, on a different flight, but together. So they had got there before us. Marcus had hit me up. They were at that time, they were split between building 61 and building 63. I believe. Yeah. So when we got there, because he told me make sure that I tell the people at check-in, about that. So we told them, and she's like, "Yeah, that don't matter. It's nothing we can really do about that." That's funny, fam. That's funny.
All on my shoulder. Husband come past and asks, "Was I comfortable?" Yikes! Yikes!
That's funny. All right, so
look, when Fab stood up, he probably still would have been brolic because his wife was there, but he might have calmed down just a bit, made a little smile.
All right, listen.
Fab a big nigga. Like,
well, Fab's girl was also there.
Oh, all right.
So yeah. But anyway, so again, it was difficult all getting in the same building. But initially, the way that things were going, we would have ended up being in 3 different buildings.
Oh shit!
We ended up being able to get it down to just being in 2 different buildings. So also, this particular resort has butlers assigned to each building.
Interesting.
The ones in the same building with Marcus, though, they didn't even know they had a fucking butler.
Oh shit!
Until I mentioned it to them.
Because
I got there.
They had Jeeves and didn't know.
No, they did not have Jeeves.
Oh damn!
They absolutely did not have Jeeves.
Damn.
Their butler was ass cheeks.
Oh damn!
Again. Here, there's no way. Again, I got there after them.
Yo,
there's no way I should be telling them that they have a butler.
You said he was ass cheeks.
No, their butler.
Right, but Fab.
Fab was in my building.
But look how he spelled butler. Ass cheeks. Theirs was ass cheeks. Butler.
That's funny.
That's a bar.
Funny.
What?
That's a that's a typo. Goddamn it. No. But anyway, so yeah, their butler was ass because there's no reason I should get there after you, and I'm telling you, you got a butler.
All the facts.
On the way to the room, he explained to us that he was our butler, like, because I mentioned, I'm like, yeah, we here with a group, and he was like, well. And I should have caught on when he said this. Mm-hmm. Maybe he did this by mistake, but his words were, well, I don't know about your friends, but y'all got a butler. I don't know if he was joking. I don't know if he was letting me know that they butler wasn't going to be shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. But now that I think about it, it kind of feels like he was giving me a warning. So having conversations with people, from these different places.
That's never a good thing.
Well, here's the thing. Having conversations with people from these different places confirms how our perception gets exported from this country.
Facts. Yo, say it again. Put it on a billboard.
Things like, black people blaming everything on racism, black people being loud and rowdy, black people always trying to get over, et cetera, et cetera.
They export those perceptions overseas.
Bruh. I had a series of dope conversations with our butler. He told me a story of this black couple calling him racist because they did some fuck shit and they ended up getting in trouble for it ultimately.
Right.
Mind you, he's a black Dominican man.
I have some stuff to say about that.
Oh, of course. You know how that go. The diaspora is the diaspora.
Diaspora is the diaspora, and a lot of I'm not going to impugn the entire group. I'm just going to say that many of the ones I've met to come over here don't even want to be referred to as black.
That's the thing. But that's what I'm saying. Like, the people. Oh shit!
Get the fuck out of here.
What it be like, my guy?
Good, B. Chilling. Just wanted to tap in real quick.
Word.
What it do?
In Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, he in the sunny
I hate him, yo.
No, fuck that. Cause I was cordial. I was cordial on the post. I was cordial on the Facebook. I was cordial on the Facebook, my nigga. But now that you on here, now that you on here, my guy.
Now you gonna wild you out.
So now you want so now it's okay to go to Myrtle Beach?
Yeah, it's fine.
Nah, but you can't do that though. You can't do that.
Okay. All right.
Remember my job situation. I had to.
You're right. No, you're right.
Like me taking a week off when I just got it.
You're right.
I mean,
you're right.
Maybe.
That don't mean I can't feel away.
Yeah.
I mean, you can, but I feel like Toom isn't allowed to feel any type of way. I was in Jacksonville. Angry emoji.
Right, yo, I saw them. I was like, yo, why the fuck does he continue to?
That's why I wanted to wait to get on the show to talk about it. Instead of
what? We got to talk about.
I just wanted to see the energy was going to be the same.
No, come on, you already know. Energy sold separately, my guy. So all right, let me get back to this. So.
Oh, we about to go to the outlet, so I'm gonna dip out though. But y'all enjoy. Y'all have a good show.
All right, yo. So yeah, having these conversations with these different people, it's illuminating. Like I said, they did some fuck shit, and they like he's racist. Like what? Y'all were acting ass.
Yeah, if you're listen,
it took until day 3 for them to actually get in trouble for the shit they was doing because he was diffusing the situation.
That's American bullshit.
Bruh. So that brings us to the story of.
Well, wait a minute. I have just a couple of questions.
What up?
What was the resort like? We
gonna get to all that. Okay. No, we gonna get to all that. That brings us to the story of Stefan.
Hold up, Stefan Urkel?
No, see, here's the thing. For those that are unaware, if you happen to be new to the show or you haven't really, really watched, you know that on this show we protect the names of the innocent.
Right.
And of course, Marcus and Fab are not innocent.
At all.
Yeah, no, we don't do that. When we were there, I mentioned the podcast, and he said that he wanted to listen and he wanted me to include the parts. You know, he absolutely wanted me to include the part. Yes, Fab, we're sticking with that name, guys. I'm explaining why now we're sticking to that name.
Is this kind of like your resort?
No, nothing like the resort.
It did come out pretty good though, right?
It's not. I ain't gonna hold you. You gotta give me that one.
I got you.
So he said when I mentioned the podcast, he said he wanted to listen and he wanted me to include the parts that involved him.
Okay.
So, but he also said that my homegirl had to give him his name. Of course, Stefan's not his real name because you are not one of the. Well,
hold up.
Deborah said you can't say. Here's the thing. I'm see now. I'm about to fuss.
But she said it.
Yes, with her name visible.
It's a halo. It's a halo.
With her name visible.
It's a halo emoji.
You're missing the initial point.
Oh, sorry.
We changed names to protect the innocent. She comes on here with her name showing. What up, Paul? So she said she don't care. Okay. All right. So, like I said, he told me to let her name him.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, bet. When I told her, I'm like, you have to come up with the name. And she like, I don't get no secret name. I said, no, you don't. But you don't want one because some of our audience is nosy. And if I tell this story and I say your name, they're going to find you on my friends list. And they're going to have a face to put with the name. So I'm absolutely not mentioning your name. So anyway, for those unaware, there was a show in the 90s called Family Matters. Stefan was a main character. He's suave, debonair, ladies' man. So that should kind of let you know what she thought about him.
Okay, so first of all, to quote Tony Stark in the first Avengers movie, everything special about Stefan came out of a bottle.
It doesn't matter. That's not important. It matters none. So he was an amazing butler. There's no exaggeration, like, at all.
He was Jeffrey?
No, he was Stefan. I just told you.
No, he was more like Alfred.
No, a
great butler, right? You say
no, yeah, I get that part, but I'm pretty sure they don't corner the market on good butlers. Like, I'm pretty sure others exist. It is what it is.
They at least top five, nigga. Top 5.
No, I'm not arguing that. I'm not arguing that at all. So, like I said, the people in the other building, didn't even know they had a fucking butler until I mentioned Stefan.
Because they really didn't. Like they had a guy.
They really didn't. No, it was a woman. It was a woman. Oh, and here's the thing. So when we get there, and we definitely gonna get into this, but when I got there and I got my room and I got settled, I hit Marcus up. Yo. Because they give you this little pamphlet about the stuff in the resort and all that shit. So I saw something, birthday special, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, shit. Hit Marcus. Yo, come here. As soon as you can, come to my room. And he's like, such and such is with me. And I'm like, bet, bring her. Because she can help. Because she actually knows Fab's girlfriend. She knew Fab's girlfriend before I knew Fab's girlfriend.
Right.
So I'm like, good. She could be the person that reaches out and coordinates with her to get all this together. So we ain't got to involve Fab at all.
Facts.
So they get there and we working on that, and I hit Stefan up like, yo, can we get 4 of them little blue drinks and some ice to the room? He's like, no problem. Don't worry about it. So I mentioned that to them, and they like, y'all got a butler? I said, y'all have a butler too. I was like, what you mean? I said, the person that walks y'all to your room is your butler. So we went out in a swim out, and they happened to see her walking by. So they talked to her, and they got her name, and I think Marcus got her number, but I never saw her again. Literally never. I literally only saw her once.
Wow.
Yo, Palm is ass.
He is.
That's funny. Yo, that is hilarious. Yo, Palm, niggas was saying he looked like Quagmire when he did that shit. But anyway,
yo, giggly.
So let me see. Stefan was also very personable. So we spent some time with Stefan, like chilling. Like, so let me zoom out for context. Again, me and Fab, we are result-oriented people. If you come to us with an issue, our initial instinct is to try to figure out how to fix it.
Same.
It's just what it is. One of our homegirls on the trip seemed to show a little bit of interest in Stefan. So, me and Fab, you
know what? Y'all could have minded y'all business.
We could have, but it wasn't. That didn't appear to be what she wanted me to do.
No, okay.
Right. I ain't even going. I kept looking at it. What you want me? You want? Say the word. Say the word.
Right.
She never said the word.
Oh damn.
So I'm all right. Back. Boom. 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 We on it. So. Me and Fab went in motion to see what we could do, what we can get done.
First of all, you niggas running around here acting like y'all dual love connection hosts.
Here's the thing about that. That's not new. So she's result oriented as well. She's not one of those people that's going to bring up an issue and then take issue with it being addressed.
Oh no.
Yeah. Marcus, on the other hand, for years. We have been trying with Marcus, and all 9 times out of 10, no, don't worry about it. So why you bringing it up? Why you constantly bringing it up? No, don't worry about it. Blah blah this, blah blah that. He had some excuses on this trip. I ain't gonna hold you, but we're not gonna get into that.
Oh damn,
we're not gonna get into that. But again, in general, he takes slight issue with that approach. He's more of a getting out his feelings type when it comes to his complaining. Like, he's not looking for a solution necessarily.
He just, but you know what? He's not
unique.
He's not unique in that. Like,
no, not at all. A
lot of people.
I just don't do well in general with people like that.
I know what you're saying.
Don't fucking tell me.
Because I don't want. That's one of the things my wife always says too. Don't, because she is going to look for a way to fix it, and if you're not really looking for a solution to it,
I'm not.
Don't get me all riled up about it.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying?
I am a problem solver. That is what the fuck.
That's it. That's it right there.
That's literally my job.
He's a venter.
He's a venter. It's literally my job to solve problems. Like, that is what I do. But anyway, So specifically when it comes to initiating something with someone who catches his eye, he's just not going to do it. Right. He just won't. Now, mind you, I don't do it either. But I'm not the person that's going to talk about it.
Right, facts.
I'm not going to bring it up and exclaim and then not do it. No, I'm just not. I'm not the type, so I'm not going to bring it up.
Right. So wait a minute, now this is what I'm confused about.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all had a butler.
Mm-hmm.
That means the place that y'all stayed in must have been huge, right?
Oh no, it was huge. I ain't gonna hold you. Like the what's the word I'm looking for? The shit, I can't think. It's a place. Not establishment. The It's complex or whatever.
Okay.
The
compound.
It was the compound. Yes. The compound was humongous. It had several resorts on it.
Right. They palms ass.
So
resort.
well, no. A new resort. Compound is the word I was looking for. It had several resorts on it that are all under the same. I told you the name was Stefan. I have several. They had several resorts that are under that umbrella of Bahia Principe.
Right.
So we were staying in one of the luxury ones.
Interesting.
So anyway, the two differences again between me and Marcus when it comes to the whole initiating, seeing somebody you're interested in, and then going off to initiate that thing. Again, one, I don't verbally express how attracted I am to somebody who just walks by.
No, you know what? As a youth, the folly of youth, because that's really folly. Yeah, I did.
I've never been that person.
I'm a bit more verbose. Once I became like a grown man, she's but it has to be somebody that I've seen more than once. Right,
that's a thing.
I've seen more than once. You know what I'm saying? And like, no, I'm not going. That's it. I gotta say something. I gotta say something.
Right. Then number two.
So that's the butler.
No, not anything. No, that doesn't correlate at all.
What's up with the butler?
That's drab as fuck.
I purposely put in Alfred Pennyworth.
So number two, if I was ever in position for one of my best friends to wingman someone I find attractive, I'm all in.
Right. No,
if I even hint that I'm attracted to someone, and one of my best friends is like, "Want me to go get her?" I'm like, sure.
See, the thing about that, right, is there has been times when that's happened.
Hold up. Go away, Agna.
There might have been times that happened, but also from experience, I have learned that there are tons of women that don't like that.
Oh no, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? They don't like that.
I think I may have had it happen twice in my life.
Mm-hmm.
First
time, all right, I'm out.
the first time it worked.
Right.
Second time, not so much.
Yeah.
But the first time it worked.
Right.
But anyway, so now zooming back in. She had me and Fab in the room.
Oh shit.
Wow, so wingman on 100,000 trillion.
Yeah, y'all ass.
So it was an interesting, candid conversation. The whole time I kept my eye on her because I'm you want me to stop?
Right.
What's going on?
Right.
Because at any point, if she would have let me know to pull the plug, I'd have pulled the plug.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's my people's.
Absolutely.
So she never got to that point.
Right.
So like I said, I'm gauging her reactions. Anytime she gave me the sign to abort, it would have been aborted. But I never got that sign. So by the end,
she never
we knew more about
flag on the play. No flags on the play.
Never. So by the end of the conversation, we knew more about Stefan and our friend. They had a date set up.
Man, that's some shit.
Right?
That's some
So as for the results of the said date, some things I'm not legally obligated to share, and other things I'm not aware of.
Right.
When we saw him afterwards, all we asked him was, "How did it go?" he basically said that we'd have to ask her. That got points with me because a gentleman never tells. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a gentleman never tells.
But a ruffian tells.
I mean, so when we saw her,
right, exactly.
They were hounding her for details.
Oh my.
And every time the conversation faded away into something else, one of the people that was with her specifically kept trying to push her back toward it. And I'm like, chill. Like, I don't need all the details.
Right.
All I need to know is that she enjoyed herself and that she was safe.
Yeah, I'm about to say, ain't no fuck shit happened. Right.
That's all that I needed to know.
Right.
She confirmed that for me. Boom. Right. We good. Yeah, the answer to both of those questions were yes. She enjoyed herself and she was safe. So mission accomplished. Fuck that. By all accounts, she really enjoyed herself and she deserved to have that fun.
Right.
Fuck, I care about anything else. Stefan was also pivotal in setting up the little get-together that we did for Feb.
Interesting.
I was sitting with him in my room while he was doing the setup.
Wait a minute. Is that the picture that Fab had?
Shut up. Oh. We were out. He was at Monkey Island. So Palm. So I was sitting with him in my room while he was doing. I was sitting with him in my room while he was doing the initial setup. Like I said, he's a real cool dude. We talked about the stuff I talked about earlier. That was where that came from. The perception of us that it gets exported from the United States. And I explained to him that some of it is true to varying degrees because some of us see, yeah, you got a stray, Palm. I ain't even gonna hold you. That was a stray. That's why I didn't finish the joke.
Right.
You weren't prepared. Hey, my bad. My bad.
He wasn't ready.
Yeah, he wasn't prepared. So I told him, like, these are perception and stereotype, but there are those of us who see that, like, they don't just sell that perception to the rest of the world.
Right.
They sell it to our country as well.
Exactly.
And some of us see those things, and some of us buy into some of those things.
Basically, what happens is, and this is, I think, one of the craziest shits, is that a stereotype happens, somebody sees examples of it, and then greatly exaggerates it, right? And then, if the people that created the stereotype have control over education, entertainment, political legislation, all the things in society that can twist narratives, that stereotype then gets spread broadly amongst an entire group. And that's what happens. So, yeah, you're absolutely, the whole black people are violent. Yo, you can find violent black people because people are violent. Right? But if the stereotype is that black people are violent, this individual who is violent, because humans are violent, because he happens to be black. See, it's the same
confirmation bias.
Yeah.
So yeah, we was talking about that. We was talking about like movies, talking about video games and shit, just kicking it. He also gave me a perspective about this very show that I had never contemplated. The whole thing about naming the YouTube.
I think you used to do that in the beginning, but then
before we went on StreamYard, I used to
before he was on StreamYard.
Yep. So if you look on YouTube, it actually has a title instead of just BCG in the date.
Right.
That's all Stefan. He was like, yo, because
I served him out.
Hey, I had sent him the link. He asked for the link, and he was like, all right, this is a little confusing because all I see are dates. And I'm like, you're right.
Yeah.
You are right. I've never considered it. And I showed him, like, I showed him that everywhere else, it's titles.
Right.
But on YouTube, since we didn't stream, I think it was never titles, only dates.
And honestly, we have focused more on the Spotify.
Yeah.
because I think early on we saw the most amount of traction and traffic.
Well, that's part of it. But the other thing, remember, is we started on Anchor. Spotify bought Anchor.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was an amazing trip. I ain't even gonna hold you. We're gonna get some. All right, so a couple random bits before we get to the main thing.
Right.
Very few things happened to get on my nerves during this trip. Very few. The resort was pretty amazing. There were a couple things that weren't working the way that they were supposed to. Like, for instance, in trying to set up this little thing for Feb, we realized we needed money. Everybody didn't have cash on them. That's funny, Paul.
Fast.
That's funny. So we needed cash. There was an ATM on the compound, but apparently there was only one ATM on the compound. So only two of us needed money. Marcus and Debbie needed money. So they went to the ATM, but the ATM was broke. So that was a little downer. But we ended up working it out. So at the end of the day, it didn't derail anything.
Right.
Also, there was one night where we kind of got in trouble for being too noisy.
Oh, damn. See, I know what happened. Y'all niggas
what
was
do you
in
think
there.
happened?
Y'all niggas was in there with all this.
That is not.
That's
not what it was.
Listen.
That's not what it was.
I saw the picture. Y'all looking zoned.
No, hold up. That's not what it was. What it was. So particularly that night. No, Fab wasn't there that night. We specifically were outside. We were outside in my swim up, and we was just chilling. And generally on these trips, at least one night, a group of us, no matter how many of it is of us, we sit up
and holler at the moon,
talking shit and listening to music. The music was too loud.
Sure wasn't, y'all.
It was at 10. It was. No, it wasn't 10 o'clock. Yeah, it was like 10 o'clock, I believe. At the first time that any sign of an issue happened, it was 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. We're on vacation. Right. We're in paradise. Why the fuck y'all? All right, y'all want to go to sleep? All right, cool.
Yeah, because paradise too. See, that's part of paradise.
Yeah, I get it. Here's the thing. I wasn't necessarily mad. The only thing that made me mad is that instead of saying something to us, they called the people.
That's some current shit. So,
bruh.
So for future reference, you know that even in paradise, there is a.
But here's the thing. That's what would have been one of the benefits of being in the same building.
Right.
It would have been mostly just us.
That's a fact. And he wouldn't have had that.
Yeah. So, because they came out, the dude came out, but he said nothing. He said nothing to us. He came out. He walked out on his little patio thing.
Can I ask you a question?
Pool starts. Yeah. Yes, he was.
Oh. That's why he didn't say nothing to you. Nigga. That's why he didn't say nothing to you.
I mean, it is what it is. So, like, 20. It was now. At this point, it was late. At this point, I wasn't mad. Again, only thing I was mad at is him not saying anything to us.
Right.
It was 1 o'clock in the morning at this point. It was late.
Right.
It was absolutely. I get the idea of, hey, turn the music down.
Right.
But if he would have said that,
right,
we would have done that.
Facts.
Because at this point, I was in control of the music. I would just hit the volume down.
He was DJing. Say it.
Volume
down. He was DJing.
Not really. I was playing a playlist from Spotify. If you want to consider that DJing, then sure.
I said he got the man on y'all.
Basically, Palm. That's exactly what happened, my guy. But the craziest thing, the thing that really made me upset in the moment was how it happened.
Yeah.
They called. I think Marcus heard the phone ringing. He's like, "Yo, I guess we making too much noise. The phone ringing." I'm like, "Fuck." All right, because everybody was there except for Fab and his girl and Debbie. Debbie was asleep, so we knew she wasn't calling our room.
Right.
And Fab was in the same building, so he would have just knocked on the door.
Yeah, no doubt.
So we knew it had to be somebody with them boys. Whoop whoop.
Them boys. Some boys. Yeah.
So it was 1:24 when I got the call. I said, okay. I stepped out of the room, back to the swim out, immediately turned the music down. 4 minutes later, they pulled up.
Oh, no.
And the thing about them pulling up was they were so unassuming. Like, they were standing corner to where we were.
Because, bro.
Not really saying anything.
They not American.
Right. Not really saying anything, and they were almost timid in their speaking. So I'm like, all right, hold on. I'm going to come out there to y'all. So basically, he's like, listen, it's people here trying to sleep. I'm not trying to be a party pooper, but, you know, other people paid to stay here too, blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that. Y'all can go down by the beach area because there are no rooms down there and be as loud as y'all want. So that's what the fuck we did. We continued the rest of the night at the beach area. It was beautiful at this point in time. Facts. That's exactly what happened, Paul. No. Like, literally. No, he didn't. Marcus didn't say the phone's ringing. Marcus said, oh, shit. Yeah, we loud as fuck. I'm like, what you mean? He said, then he was like, the phone's ringing. I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yo, did a horn just go off outside your house?
I just heard it.
I could have sworn I heard a horn.
Yeah. No, facts. That's exactly what happened, Paul. Because I'm like, because at that point, like I said, I was already mad that dude did what he did. Right. And then literally I just talked to y'all 4 minutes ago.
Right.
There's no way that there was another complaint levied in that 4 minutes. Because I turned the music down.
That's facts.
So he's like, yeah, y'all can't be in the swim out at this time of the night and blah, blah this, blah, blah that. And the beach is open. The beach was beautiful at this point in time.
But did you want to go down to the beach?
The stars. Not at first, but once I got there, it was like, oh yeah, it was good that we did this.
Okay.
We was in the little beach chairs under the stars and the moon and hearing the crashing of the wave. It was great. It was amazing.
That's some shit.
Facts, Palm. That's what I was thinking. But like Tim said, I once I cooled down off of how it happened, I was like, I get it. I just wish they would have said something. They would have said,
yeah, because the truth is, I know me, if I'm down there, it's a difference. If it's me and wifey and the kids down there, I'm not gonna be that. But if I'm down there with you, Palm,
right,
fucking Cindy, it's gonna be crazy, right? It's gonna be crazy.
Facts. So that was that. The food, nigga, by a pretty wide margin, the best I've ever had at one of these resorts. Like throughout the whole restaurant, all the places that we went. Like outside of the buffet and grabbing something that you might just be trying to test and ended up not being your favorite. Outside of that, everything I tasted was good. The other resorts that I've been to.
Wait a minute, so we're talking resort food.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
The other resorts that I've been to, for the most part, I've leaned toward the buffet after trying a different spot and not being impressed. Like, I remember the first time I went to Cancun, we went to the Italian restaurant, and the fucking chicken parmesan tasted like oozing noodles.
Oh, goodness.
Wait, it wasn't chicken parmesan. It was Alfredo. The Alfredo tasted like oozing noodles. And not the Alfredo flavor. It's like, what the fuck? But anyway, what else? One dumb thing was the reservations were a bit stupid.
What you mean?
Well, so it was slightly confusing, and because I wasn't in sheep herder mode, I'll explain that later. Everybody in our group wasn't.
Mind your damn business.
That's funny. But yeah, because I wasn't in sheep herder mode, everybody kind of wasn't on the same page.
Well, I mean, that's not really what you do anyway.
Well, I'm gonna get to that. We went to this club on the compound. Club. No, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Marcus's ass. So he finds this group of people, and because they were supposed to be, him and the other girl were supposed to be going to the bar to get the drink. And I'm noticing time is passing. Like, there's no way that it's taking y'all this long to get this drink. So they come back. He's like, oh, we just met these people, this group of people. They were so fun and blah, blah, this and blah, blah, that. And they're going over to the discotheque and we should go.
Wait a minute. He said discotheque?
That's what it was called there. It wasn't.
Well, saying,
you gotta remember a lot of stuff
here, but
you gotta remember a lot of old stuff to us is still current other places.
That's true.
So yeah, he was like, we gotta go. I'm like, all right,
discotheque.
Fine, I'll go. So we went following this group of people that didn't seem to want to be caught. We get down there, and they seemed nice enough, but
I knew the boat was coming.
They seemed to me, just being an observationist, they seemed like the type of people that they're fucking on vacation, and they're just being nice to the people that they come across. They didn't seem like they were actually interested in him being in the group.
I know.
So we went there. Him and the one girl. It was 4 of us. Him and the one girl danced and sweated out and all that other shit. Yeah, it was bad. And then here's the thing. I don't know why he thought this was what was going to happen. He tried to give me his backpack. No, I'm sorry. At first, he gave his backpack to the other lady that we were with. And all right, cool. She held it because she's nicer than I am. So we was there for a little while. They went to where the people that he was chasing was, and then when I looked up, all the people he was chasing were gone. They were not to be found. So
because it wasn't
it wasn't really about. They were just being nice because they on vacation. They Right. So we went outside. I'm thinking we're leaving. He's like, you want to go back in there for one go around the place? Because I think he was still looking for them. And I'm like, well, no, y'all can go back in.
I think you need to let it go.
Right. Like, y'all can go back in. And he's like, all right, hold my bag. No. Everybody. Yeah. Everybody, Paul.
Literally,
because I'm not doing.
Literally everyone on the island. Even people that's not in the group.
Nigga, because I'm not doing it. So I would be the absolute worst at it.
Right.
I'm not here to hold your shit.
Nigga, I'm on vacation. And this is
because I'm not on the floor dancing. That's basically what he said. Like, it's not like you're in there partying. You're right. Because I didn't come here for that. I came down here to make sure y'all didn't get kidnapped, number one.
Okay. Can we disabuse people of the...
Bruh.
Listen, just because I am in this place not doing what everybody else is doing doesn't mean I'm here to work. Right?
I'm not here in service of you.
Yeah, what the...
I'm sorry, hold up. I'm not here in service of your wants.
Yes.
Because again, I was there to make sure nothing crazy happened.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
But literally, I was there to make sure nothing crazy happened and to be the observationist that I am.
But see, that's the thing. I think people have this perception, and apparently it's carried over from your last excursions that, you have at times a caretaker vibe going on because you put stuff together.
I'm gonna get to that.
But I think they tend to forget that when you're there at these places, you're there to have a vacation and relax too. Like this is you're there. You're there.
That came out pretty good.
Yo, that's like the
I didn't hold you. He didn't fix his mouth.
Yo, no, this is the 5th iteration of it. Yo, they had the first one had your feet holding the drink.
Yo, no, show that one. Show that one. Fuck that. Show that one.
No, that first one was wild, yo. Hold up.
Show that one. I need to see because we've been showing them good ones. We need to show them some of the bad ones.
That's true because people are saying that. Oh no, they just ordered
nigga, no.
I'm about to show y'all this shit right now. I was appalled. That shit was an eldritch abomination.
Oh my god,
yo, But I did resist the urge to make a monkey joke, right?
Sure.
Come on, hold the drink with your feet. Come on. All right, now peep this, y'all. Peep this, because.
Oh, but didn't I tell you leave? Yo, what the fuck? Yo, the arm is coming through. Yo, what is see? And this is the type of shit I'm talking about. So, like, people only see the good versions of the shit that we get out of here.
Hey, yo, napalm is wild.
There was absolutely a monkey joke to be made here.
It was. But
absolutely a monkey joke to be made.
It was the eyes, though, yo. The eyes also was the thing that made. I was like,
yeah, that's not.
I'm not doing that. I'm not.
They look like they got a little mouth on them.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But,
like, nah, dude, that's not cool. But anyway, so let me see. Oh, it was the next thing. So remember a little while ago when we talked about the whole bullshit ass leader of the group bullshit?
Yeah, hold that for a thought. I want to answer. He says, I just want to know.
No. I told him to leave.
Oh, damn, that's true. But
I just want to say he's not supposed to still be here.
The same type of person that wears a Marvel T-shirt at a DC movie.
Absolutely.
Me.
Facts. So remember we talked about the whole leader of the group bullshit?
Yeah, horseshit.
I understand it better now.
Okay.
I still think it's bullshit. Mm-hmm. I ain't hold you. I still think it's bullshit.
Yeah, because I ain't really had no.
But I get it. There are certain things that a person in a friend group may do that may shape the group.
Agreed. I think my issue with the way it was being framed
is that being framed as their subservience.
This common,
right?
And it's not. It's like
right. It's not like that.
People's personalities. Yeah, you have somebody with a dominant personality,
right?
That, in my mind, they're a take charge person,
right?
They're a take. That's what they are. The other person in the group might not be a take charge person, so they let the people. This is what they do. So we didn't get what we were supposed to get from this particular establishment.
Right.
My man's gonna wild you out because this what he do.
Exactly.
Right. You know what I'm saying? But
exactly.
But to me, it gets interpreted by people who are, as far as I'm concerned, who apparently are the submissive.
Right.
As that
they're looking for a leader.
It speaks more about you saying that sort of shit than the people in this group. You are looking for a leader. That's why when you see somebody strong, you go, "Ooh, I'm just ready to follow them wherever they." Yeah, right. That's you.
Exactly. So the one thing that annoyed me about my friend group on this trip is, and I started thinking about it on the Miami trip, but it happened again on this trip. If I'm not taking charge of the situation, there's a possibility that it goes haywire. Yeah, like I just because I'm good at planning things, but does not mean I want to plan everything.
See, that's right. What happened. What wound up happening is the expectation people had from you doing those things and not realizing a lot of that you're doing for you. I don't want this to go. I'm here too to have. I don't want this to be and inconvenience me either. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of them take it as, that's human. That's human nature too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, do it.
I'm not mad at them for it. I'm mad at the fact that it's a thing.
Yeah, it's ass that it's a thing. It's ass.
Because I remember a few weeks ago when I said on here, I don't like planning shit. I do it because I know it's going to be done right.
And you want it to be right when you go.
And I was the heel for that when I said it. Remember I was the heel when I said that. No, that's literally what happens. There are countless examples now on these last few trips of something that we wanted to do. If I didn't spearhead it, it went haywire. And on this trip, it was the whole dinner reservation thing. Yes, I will admit it was slightly complicated, but literally the only day that we all ended up eating dinner together was the night that we celebrated Fab's birthday, and that was because I took charge.
They palm his ass.
That's funny. That is absolutely hilarious. But yeah, that's because I took charge. All the other days we were disjointed. We were other places. And the plan was absolutely to be together. What up, Vermin? The plan was absolutely to be together. All right. Another little thing. Yo, you're more than welcome to bring order if you actually think you can. This is a unique. This is a very unique problem that exists. I ain't gonna hold you. It ain't. Yeah. Whatever. All right. So another thing.
Uncle was going to restore order.
All right. So last thing before I get to the main thing. Clapping when a plane lands is really odd behavior to me.
It is. It's weirdo shit.
I've only experienced it twice.
The only time I think a motherfucker should clap is if y'all went through something.
If some shit really
like classic example. Y'all flying going to Dominican Republic, and all of a sudden
and Fiona pop up.
You get attacked by aliens, and the goddamn pilot definitely gets up out of there and actually manages to make them crash into each other and all that shit. And y'all making it. Everybody should get.
Yes. Standing ovation,
nigga. If he just was doing his motherfucking
job, he literally just flew us there, nigga. And we went down and we landed.
Let me ask,
and you heard,
is Fabo still in the chat? Because I want to know.
I don't know.
Has anyone ever gave you a standing OV when you driving the bus? I need to know that. I need to know because that's more dangerous, according to statistically. Right. That's more dangerous.
He said, "Yeah."
That's warranted. That's warranted. You know.
All right, so now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our feature presentation. And I already cleared this with Feb. Matter of fact, I asked him the first day because I knew that I was going to have material, but I wasn't
crazy.
He said only when he ducks a major accident. But see, again, it's something that he did that deserves. Right. Facts. But yeah, I cleared this with him. I saw it developing. I saw, you know how like you can look down the street and you see the sky starting to get dark.
Yes.
And you notice that it's slowly moving your way. That was kind of what this was like. I saw it coming, and I knew that there would be a bunch of fucking, what's the word I'm looking for? Material.
I saw it coming.
I said, yo.
I went solo. It kept door stuffing.
I said, Fab, do I have permission to mention a few things about your lady?
Oh, my.
And he said, yes. So for those long-time listeners, I think it was 5 years ago.
For those first-time callers, long-time listeners.
You stupid. I think it was 5 years ago when we went to when we did the Cancun trip.
Yeah, something like that.
And when I got back, I complained about this lady that was on the trip. Special space, that makes sense. I get thanking the driver.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I get that. That makes sense. So she was pretty much killed the vibe of the entire trip. Like,
man, that's crazy.
So
that's crazy.
What ended up happening was
what had happened was
what ended up happening was her and Fab stayed in touch, and Fab one day was like, yo, I noticed that she seems to be showing interest, and I'm like, go for it. If you seem to like her and she seems to like you, fuck. Because a lot of people have this thing. Matter of fact, I'll just get into it. So she rubbed everybody the wrong way.
Oh damn!
From the jump.
Damn it.
From the jump. It's partly my fault because I kind of pushed to get her to come.
So initially, she wasn't going to.
Well, what happened was I told Fab, I'm like, yo, you bringing your girl? Mm-hmm. She said it sounded like a boys' trip, so she wasn't going to come.
But it wasn't a boys' trip.
No, tell her it's not a boys' trip. It was 3 guys and 4 women at the time.
Right.
Like, I mean, well, it ended up being 3 guys and 4 women. I'm like, no, it's absolutely not a boys trip. Like that's not what's going on. Tell her, come on, because it doesn't matter what my relationship is with her.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, I get it.
I don't give a fuck about that. That's my brother's birthday week.
That's it.
He should be able to have his girl with him.
Right. Nah, I agree.
With no issues. Like that's crazy. Absolutely, she can come. What the fuck you mean? But I did warn all these motherfuckers about what could potentially happen. Also, Debbie was in Cancun with us. So she had a little bit of a taste of what could potentially happen.
Right.
But they did this thing, which they do, which is annoying as fuck, and I fuss at them every time they do this about anything, where they want to keep asking me everything.
Yeah.
But then time to time disregard my answer.
Yeah, which is annoying as fuck.
Like, don't fucking ask me if you're not going to listen to what I say about it.
Right.
That's when you get the arguments. That's when you get the pushback from me. If I didn't tell you, if you didn't ask me, and I tell you something and you don't heed it, that's fine. Who the fuck am I?
Right.
I'm not the leader of the group. I'm not the leader of the group.
Hold up, yeah.
But
whoa. You said Jern. Wait a minute. See, this is mad confusing, right? Because on several occasions, like you've been
not at all. I was interested on going on a trip. There are people that I love that are interested in going on trips, so I informed them thusly about the details of the trip. Sure. That's what that was. No. Yo. All right. So. Like I said, they do. It annoys the fuck out of me every time. And I call them out on it because, again, if you my peoples, I'm calling you on your bullshit.
Yeah, of course.
Right, the fuck? So every time they do it, I call them out on it. They ask me and ask me and ask me, and they disregard the fuck I said. Yeah. If you didn't, if you had an idea already, why the fuck are you bothering me about it?
That's the other thing, too. Why? Don't put the cognitive load on me,
bro.
If you already had an idea what you're going to do,
exactly.
Now, if you listen, you can ask for advice.
Yeah,
you're not bound to take the advice.
Absolutely not.
If I start to see this as a trend,
bro,
where I told you, it didn't. This is the other thing that'll piss me off. If you asked me, and I told you, then you did the opposite, and it fucked up.
Bruh. Here's the thing. It's not even always advice. Sometimes it's just information.
Yeah, facts.
And you're still disregard.
Right.
All right, guys. This trip might be a little annoying for some of y'all. She has a particular personality. She's not really a people person. Mm-hmm. She's not going to go out of her way to talk to y'all. Like, none of that is going to happen.
Right.
All right. Then we get there. When I called Marcus and the other girl to my room, the first thing they said, well, the first thing Marcus said, I don't like her. Oh, pray tell, why would you have an issue with her, my good man? Why would you have it? What's that?
What's wrong?
And the other girl, the one that's known her since high school,
right?
She's like, nah, fuck that. Apparently we're not friends no more. I'm like, oh. What pray tell did she do? Oh, when I saw her, I spoke to her, and like I was trying to be warm and all that other stuff, and she just gave me a cold, like, oh, hi.
You know.
Oh, so this isn't something we talked about, is it? Like this isn't something. This is not something we discussed before this trip happened.
Maybe you were vague about.
No, not at all. Not at all. Specifically, the words. She's not. Her personality is different. She's not a people person. Like, bruh.
Wait a minute.
That's just what it is.
So what I'm trying to understand is, they were friends before. Is that?
But they lost touch. Like they were friends in high school.
Okay.
And I think she's 2 years older than me. So that was a while ago.
Yeah,
that was a while ago.
Yeah.
So again, I told y'all. But anyway, like I said, anybody started wanting to complain to me about her.
No, and
if I didn't fully explain, bruh. As if I didn't fully explain what was going to happen on the strip.
It's annoying. I'm
not Nostradamus. I just have experience.
You nigga-damus. But the point is,
I'm close. I ain't gonna. Okay, fine. But bruh, like what?
You want to. You know what I'm saying?
I am watching, but I can't interfere.
But it's at the same time though.
Actually, I didn't. If they didn't listen, did I really interfere?
Yes. But listen, okay. you may have slightly interfered, but it wasn't like monumental. The decision was still in their hands.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So nah, big.
Because here's the thing, it was never a come or not, but she's going to be there. They were already coming. They were coming on the trip.
Thanks.
It was, hey, be prepared for this. Understand that this is it. That's funny because she's a Scar fan. Like Jeremy Irons is her shit. Not Fab's girl, but the other girl. Yeah. She's Jeremy Irons is. So anyway, so I'm like, all right. Like I said, secondhand accounts from each of them basically say that she didn't really give this vacation a chance from the jump. Now I want to make a clear distinction. I'm not a people person.
Me either. But
right.
But hold up, I know how to fake it.
And here's the thing. I'm not faking it with my people.
That's the other thing. These are your like
bruh.
When you see me around my folks, you would think this dynamic. Because these my folks. Right? But outside of that, it really depends on the vibe I'm getting from people.
Bruh, when I'm in the element with my people, a good time is had by all.
Exactly.
we be on some shit. Even if we on some bullshit,
we be on some shit. Right? We be on some shit. Right.
So, like I said, I'm not a people person. I talked on here about my not so Atlantic City trip and how uncomfortable I was while we was at Marcus People House, and but it wasn't my choice to be there.
Right.
We weren't supposed to be going to the party.
Right.
It was not my choice to be in that scenario.
Right.
But even then, also, I held myself accountable for allowing that to happen.
Right.
I got on here and said, I kind of figured that we were going to end up at that party. I should have just not went.
Right.
I held myself accountable for that.
Right.
I spoke attitude free to those people while I was there. There was no the question was, why is he so quiet? It was never I'm giving them my ass to kiss.
Yeah. Facts.
It was never that because they were nothing but nice to me.
Right.
I just don't know y'all, and it's a lot of y'all, and I'm not a people person.
And it's a bit. It can be a bit overwhelming not being a piece of people person, and then it's so many people, different personalities.
It was 15 at least. At least it was 15 of the motherfuckers.
Then you got a kid all in your face. So it's just one of them things.
I like kids though.
I'm just saying.
Well, no, the older kid that was creepy.
Yeah.
The little kids. I love kids. But anyway.
I was basically referring to the older one that was all in your face.
The older one.
He turned around.
He was a little weird. But anyway, the vast majority of time we were there at Marcus People's house. Marcus wasn't with us. I didn't catch an attitude with Marcus. I was raised with manners. If I enter a social situation,
I'm gonna ask your mama, is that true?
Hey, if I enter we were in New York. If I enter a social situation, at the very least, I speak to the situation because that's how I was raised.
Nah, that's facts. I feel you.
Now, if she was only a little cold towards those who were strangers to her and then warmed up over time,
right,
this would have been a non-issue.
Yeah, right.
Non-issue. Complete non-issue. Because, again, I know she's not a people person. So I wouldn't have took issue with that at all.
Right.
But the first person that she gave her ass to kiss was somebody she knew back in high school.
Yeah, and
by all accounts, they were pretty close in high school.
That's crazy talk. That's crazy.
She didn't even try to be sociable at all.
the whole time.
Like fuck me. You mad at me? All right, fine. But everybody else there shouldn't.
Wait a minute, was she mad at you though?
I'm gonna explain. You mad at me? Fuck it. Fuck me. But everybody else there shouldn't slowly but surely grow to actively not like you.
Agreed.
That's not what's supposed to happen. It's absolutely insane that going into Thursday on a Monday through Friday trip, I hadn't heard her voice.
Wow. Why go?
At all. I didn't see her physically until Tuesday evening. And that was only because they had reservations at the same restaurant that we had reservations at the same time. That was the only reason I saw her Tuesday. Then Wednesday, she was suddenly sick. Mm-hmm. Now, I wasn't there. Fab didn't talk to me about it.
Right.
My own opinion, and I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't believe she was sick. I don't believe she was sick. If you ask my opinion, she made that up to guilt him into staying with her.
Oh, geez.
If you ask my opinion. I could be wrong. One of my homegirls.
I hope that's not true.
When we were at dinner that Tuesday night, when we were at dinner, one of my homegirls was like, I never thought about this. I never thought about it this way. She said, it's ridiculous. She said to me, it's ridiculous that one of your best friends in the world is sitting in a restaurant about 20 feet away from you and y'all can't even really speak because of his girlfriend. A girlfriend who, mind you, wouldn't be his girlfriend if it wasn't for me.
I just needed to let that sit right there.
I literally introduced them. I contributed to the seeds that grew into them really entering the talking stage. I gave my blessing for him to officially pursue her. He's a grown man. He ain't need my permission. But as my brother, he wanted to make sure I wasn't still holding on to some feelings for her or anything like that.
Right.
I'm not one of those people that immediately consider somebody off limits just because they dated somebody that I happen to know. Like, me personally, if there wasn't a baby or some form of paperwork and there are no lingering feelings, then there shouldn't be a problem.
The reason I avoid all of that is because even though we all adults, a lot of adults play children games.
And that's my thing.
And
that's my thing.
Especially with guys. Mm-hmm. We have not been trained
to let go.
To let go or to express that shit because of ego reasons and not wanting to be perceived a certain type of way. So a nigga might say, "Oh nah, yo, I don't care about that," but then really care about that, and then down the line, I got to deal with.
See, now here's the thing. Here's
passive aggressive bullshit.
I tend
to get you two-piece because I'm not with that shit.
That's funny. I tend to not be the person that is going to go after the person that one of my peoples used to deal with.
Nah.
But I don't have a problem with it at all.
I know what you're saying. If somebody,
it's nothing to me. It's just another person. By happenstance, it happened to be a person that I know.
Right.
But fuck no. But anyway, so she still has this silly grudge against me because I treated her like she deserved and asked to be treated on those last 2 days in Cancun.
Interesting.
I stopped giving a fuck, and I stopped actively trying to invite her to things, and
you were asked that though,
bruh. And we kind of got into it on the last day because of the whole photo shoot thing, and like we haven't spoken since. Legitimately have not spoken since. So she's still mad at me about that. Fine, whatever. I don't care. It doesn't matter how you feel about me. Again, you're my brother's girl.
Right.
This trip is about my brother. It's his birthday week.
Right.
I want him to enjoy himself. He loves you.
Right.
You're gonna be there. I mean, you could have chosen not to come, sure, but you were always going to be invited. To that trip.
Yeah. No.
So on the last full day of the trip, because his birthday was Friday, but we were leaving Friday morning, so we had to do it on Thursday. So on the last full day of the trip, I basically had to coordinate Fab's surprise birthday celebration with him. Do you have any idea how hard it is to try to get somebody to adhere to your schedule when they have a Sour Patch Kid who they have to placate, who likes to be in charge while also having to hold back certain details because I can't ruin the surprise?
Right.
So let's be clear. I'm me. I still got it done. But it was difficult.
Sour Patch Kid.
She is, because she can be really sweet. She is by all accounts, I maintain this. Even through her having this dumbass grudge against me, she is a good person. She is legitimately. What up, Mike? What up?
Mike has a question.
Yeah, I know. Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead, Mike. She's legitimately a good person, yo. Like, she got her head on straight. Don't even get me started. Because what I'm not gonna do, and the crazy thing is, as crazy as I'm talking, I have not slandered her once.
I don't think you're talking crazy though. Like,
well, someone might feel like it.
They might if they in their feelings already,
right?
But you only talking about what you literally observed. Like at the very least, they might take umbrage at the Sour Patch Kid thing. But
it's
even
true.
with that, like, you were acting sour, like
right?
You know, so,
she can be sweet. I've seen it firsthand.
Right.
But one of the reasons that we didn't work out is because I'm not about to work to fix that every day.
Nah, I feel you.
That's not my job.
Nah,
like I've always held the idea after I became an adult. Mm-hmm. I've always had the idea that women aren't children or wild animals. They are not to be handled.
I agree with that.
They're not to be controlled.
I agree with that.
I should not have to handle or control.
And I feel like the control should lie within yourself. Like there's a certain behavior that I'm not going to display on a regular basis because I have self-control, and I know that me being that sort of a asshole is counterproductive to a relationship, be it with a romantic relationship, friendship, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So it's really on me, and I always felt like it's on the individual to control yourself. You know what I'm saying? Not on somebody to have to put a leash on you and do the sun's getting kind of low. I shouldn't have to do none of that.
Right.
You should have to do none of that with me. Now don't get
exactly
twisted. There are times if I flip and lose it about something that's a trigger for me, and this is your attempt to keep me from going back to jail.
Right.
Then
that's
yes,
different.
I get that. But on a regular,
but not on a daily basis.
Nah, B. No.
I don't got the energy. I don't got the time. Like, I like myself too much. Like, I'm gonna hold you. I like myself too much to have to deal with that type of shit every day.
Nah, yo, it's a miserable existence you shouldn't have to deal with. Might ask, how do you coordinate a birthday?
No, I'm about to explain, Mike. About to explain.
That's a
so again, I'm me. Like it's funny. I had this conversation with Kristen. She asked me, I can't remember when we talked. She asked me something, and I said, "Have you ever experienced me not being good at something?"
Let me tell you something. Me knowing her, she did not like that answer. This nigga.
Have you ever experienced me not being good at something? And it's not because I'm this great wonderkind. It's because I have enough self-awareness to realize when I'm not good at something. So I stop doing it or I get better.
It's being self-reflective and being able
That's what that is.
Oh, and self-critical.
Yes.
Everybody ain't got that, B.
Everybody ain't got that. I'm not just some super multi-talented blah blah. No. If I do a fucking audit of myself. Right. All right, this is what I aim to do. How successful was I?
Yeah, that sucked. I need to get better at that.
Right, that sucked. I need to get better. Or shit, this ain't for me.
Yeah. And that's
this.
And that is the other side of that coin, where people refuse to acknowledge when something isn't for them. Like, yo, you may have the desire to do it, but there is a blockage somewhere. Mm-hmm. It is somewhere that's preventing you from doing it optimally. So instead of you embarrassing yourself and making others cringe, that's terrible. Just stop it.
Right.
Stop it.
All right. So this is how I did it. So again, remember we talking about the reservations for dinner all those nights and everybody not being on the same page except for that last day, because I physically took control of everybody. I literally
because
I mean, so no. So the thing that we were using to make the reservations was like this little kiosk, and all you needed for the kiosk was the room number. I think the room number and the person's last name was all you needed to make a reservation.
Right.
So, amongst all the chaos, I physically went to that kiosk and went to everybody's room number, everybody's last name, and made them reservations for that damn restaurant on that day. The rest of it, I wasn't fixing, because y'all all grown.
Yeah.
Sure, it was, I'll give them the credit, it was a little confusing. I'll give you that. But it should not have been so confusing that you couldn't have figured it out.
Right.
But anyway.
Right.
Anyway, so for that last day, I made sure everybody's was on point. And I told Fab, like, yo. Matter of fact, I can't remember if I did Fab's or not. I can't remember. But I confirmed with him, like, yo, on this day, everybody wants to get together.
On this day.
So that was one. Then on top of that, like I said, Stephon was an amazing butler. When on day 2, same thing, nigga. I told you to make it happen though. so I told Stephon, we saw Stephon. What day was that? I think the same day that we was trying to do the rest. So Tuesday, I saw him. I was like, yo, all right, it's Fab's birthday. We trying to get something done. We trying to do something.
Right.
So he was like, I got it. We can have the get together. Y'all give me y'all budget.
Right.
And whatever y'all budget is, I work within the parameters of the budget to make, get decorations, blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, bet. This is crazy too. Stephon noticed that she was a little dismissive and off-puttish.
Yeah.
He mentioned it. He's like, how are y'all going to... Does she know about this? I said, first of all, you shouldn't even know that this is an issue.
Yeah, that's his shit.
Like, you shouldn't know this is an issue.
He's this man.
I thought about him like, okay, this is his thing.
Yeah,
it's his job to be observant,
and he's probably seen so many goddamn people come down there with different attitudes.
The example I gave you earlier, that was a couple arguing.
See,
so yeah, he has experience in this, but I was like, all right. So because my initial plan, again, was, because again, she's mad at me, fuck it.
Right.
My initial plan was to get the girl that she knew in high school to reach out to her. That was my initial plan.
Right.
But, so I was like, all right, so we can't do it in his room because I can't tell him what's happening. Right. And she's not talking to anybody.
Right.
So we can't do it in his room. I'm like, all right, fuck it. We're going to do it in my room. And we want this. What's his favorite color? Like, do the Ravens, do the purple, white, and black, and gold thing. All right, cool. So fast forward to this day. It was the day of the trip. Not the trip, I'm sorry. It was the day of the little get-together. Mm-hmm. And I'm talking to Fab because I'm trying to coordinate specific times.
Right.
Because we were going to do it, because Stephon, when he heard about the noise complaint, because originally the plan was to do the get-together after dinner. That was the original plan. But when he heard about the noise complaint, he was like, are you sure you don't want to do it before, just in case, to be safe, and make sure nobody... Yeah. I was like, that's a good idea. So we were going to do it before. But when I hit Fab up, they was on an excursion. They weren't going to be back in time to do it before. So I'm like, all right, don't worry about it. We'll do it after. And he was like, I'm confused. I said, I know you're confused. And to be honest, I let him know flat out, it's her fault that you're confused. Because had she not given everybody else her ass to kiss,
facts,
we could have planned this with her.
Yeah.
And everything would have been smooth because she would have knould the times and that y'all was doing everything.
Him there to come back.
Right. She would have knew all that. So she'd have been able to take care of that. It would have just been so much easier. But it happened the way it happened. So also he mentioned to me that she had something planned for that night. I'm like, all right, fine. So I'll get to that in a second. So we get to the night, and everybody basically dressed up a little bit because it was the fine dining restaurant.
You find out, y'all niggas down there with fucking tuxedos on.
Oh fuck no! I said a little bit. It's Dominican Republic. It's too hot for all that bullshit. Fuck that. But we weren't wearing athletic wear and beach wear and all that other shit. We had clothes on.
For the record, just putting this out here right now so that everybody knows. When the bag is acquired.
What up, Jada?
What up, Jada? When the bag is secured and acquired and a birthday of mine comes around, you are all allowed to wear athletic gear.
Nigga, again, it wasn't because of the...
I take that back. All y'all niggas gonna have dashikis on. We not playing.
That's funny. It's funny. Yo! It wasn't because of the birthday, nigga. It was because of the restaurant.
Yeah. Well, look, when the bag was a fine dining, I would take... You got the bag. You can...
No, nigga. Hear me clearly. I have always had this stereotype, and it's been confirmed for me. It's headcanon now. I don't give a fuck how much of a bag I got. We are not doing fine dining.
No, hell no. What we doing?
Right. Fuck that. But anyway.
My definition of fine dining might be a little different.
No, nigga. It's not the same thing. It's clearly not the same thing. So we get to the restaurant. Everybody basically dressed up a little bit. We went to the resort's fine dining restaurant. Everything was weird with the menu. Like, everything was fucking weird. So, hilariously, we all ended up getting the same entree. Wow. Their drinks were amazing. The entree was pretty good. Everything else, hit or miss. But again, that's just for our taste. Like, it was shit with, like, black ink squid and squid ink and blah blah this and blah blah. I'm like, no, I'm not getting none of that shit.
Ink is food?
I don't fucking know. I didn't see it, but that's what it said. Matter of fact, I think I still got the menu loaded up in my.
That sounds gross.
Because it was the last thing. Yep.
That sounds gross.
I wouldn't know. Let me see menu. So here's some of the things that were on this menu. Creamy sea urchin.
I'm not eating sea urchin, so go ahead.
I'm not eating it. I'm not eating sea. Scallops. I like scallops.
I don't. But
with squid ink foam.
No, I'm not doing that. So
I'm not doing that.
Says they mix the ink into the pasta commonly. See, because the reason
I'm not doing
the reason Og knows all of that because Og a eating motherfucker. I'm sure.
I'm sure it is. Let me see what else they have.
I'm not eating that though. For the record,
tuna tataki with avocado puree and something I can't pronounce.
So I don't eat avocados. Probably a little tasty.
I don't eat avocados.
I don't even know. I can't spell it, so I'm not.
Right. There was a.
It's true. I am eating.
There was a confit lamb.
I don't know. I like lamb.
Stuff with dates and yuca texture and truffle aroma.
I'm good on the.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not doing that. Let me see. Their Turbo Supreme. It's a fish. It was over cauliflower and chive mousseline. I don't like cauliflower with quinoa and sprouts. I'm not eating none of this shit. And sea bream is a different fish with potato and pumpkin cream, citrus oil and arugula. I don't eat pumpkin.
I don't eat pumpkin at all. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
There's literally
so what we all settled on for our main course was the tenderloin.
Yo, that menu right there, I'd have left.
That's funny. Well, here's the thing. So this wasn't originally part of it, but once me and Marcus knew. That
was menu I'm eating.
Terrible. May God have mercy on your stomach. So me and Marcus, we did a little extra facts, Keith.
Flags. Yo, I didn't know people even ate pumpkin because when I'm growing up from the hood, all I knew pumpkins were for pumpkin Halloween patch. And putting the shit in the
jack-o'-lanterns.
Fuck out.
That's funny. So we ended up getting the steak basically, the tenderloin, and me and Marcus knew already because we did research like a day before we left. We watched YouTube videos about the resort and shit, so we knew that
that's the type of shit I do. So I get it.
Yeah, we knew this was going to be. That's funny. So we knew it was going to be what it was going to be. We knew that fine dining restaurant is going to have these things that aren't commonly eaten by people like us.
Yeah, see again, our definitions is just so
it's different
than theirs.
It's different. And then on top of that, we knew that it was a small plate place. So we probably weren't going to be full.
We probably had to go someplace else. I threw the audible, hit Stefan up like, yo, can you have somebody go to the sports bar and get some wings? Let me get like 6 orders of wings sent to the room for the get together. Yo, if you did that,
he was like, yo,
I didn't know, and we came back from that place, and it was wings there. It would have been your birthday because I'd have been like, we switching over. Look, we just did your birthday, Fat Bo, but this man went and did. He all come from this place not satisfied at all and shit.
Right.
Wings, like like.
So we did that. Let me see.
This I didn't know. I did not know that.
Oh, interesting.
I did not know that.
I'll try to remember that if I ever end up with a dog again.
One of these days, at some point, because first of all, humans don't deserve them. And I'm saying,
hold on, wait. I'm sorry. Hold on, I gotta address this. Berman, bring that ass here, boy.
Bring that ass here, boy.
Here's the thing. Literally nothing about my life changes by not trying a new food.
Bingo.
I lose out on nothing.
Bingo.
If I don't like it,
I'm not eating.
Then I had a bad experience. If I do like it, then it was a decent experience, but it's not an experience I needed.
I'm not obliged to eat something that I'm not that don't look appetizing to me.
I'm never going to. I'm never going to do that.
I'm sure a shit sandwich.
It tastes great to somebody.
Somebody might like this shit.
I'm never going to do it.
I'll never know.
That reminds me of the line in Pulp Fiction when Sam L and John Travolta was talking about pig, and Sam was like, a rat may taste like pumpkin pie, but I ain't never going to know.
I never will eat the rancid motherfucker. I'm good.
So, all right. So, like I said, we all ended up with the same entree. Drinks were amazing. Entree was pretty good. This was the first time that Fab actually ate with us.
Damn.
On this entire trip.
That's crazy.
Since we settled in. When they first got there, again, they got there before us. When they first got there, they went to the buffet together. But even then, Fab and his girl initially were at a different table.
Right.
So, we're having dinner. She may have said a total of 15 words the entire dinner.
Yo,
85% of them were to Fab. Only saying anything to anybody else when directly addressed. Now, I wasn't paying attention, but I think she took some of my Tums without asking. But that's not a big deal. I don't care. We're sitting together. It's on the table. Fine. Whatever. Here's the thing, though.
Biddy like, fuck that. Fuck that.
I don't blame you, Biddy.
Fuck that.
I ain't mad at you.
I ain't mad at you.
I ain't gonna hold you. So after we finished dinner, we made our way to my room. While dinner's going on, I'm still running back and forth, trying to make sure everything's done. So after we finished dinner, we made our way back to my room. She basically sat herself as far away from us as physically possible while still being in the room.
Wow.
And she sat there trying her best to not be involved. Like, seriously, how can you be so miserable in paradise? Like, I have to assume, whatever, that's not important. So like I said, we had the wings.
I don't get it. I
don't know. It's not for me to get. And that's what I told them every time they complained about her. What I expressed to them is, it's not for us to understand.
It's not for us to wonder why. It's just
it's not for us to
do it. Yeah, okay.
It's not for us to understand. Somebody else's relationship don't got to make sense to you.
That's true. That's a fact.
But
that's not the part that's confusing to me, because, like you said, people's relationships don't have to fit some cookie cutter thing that everybody does, right? The thing that's confusing to me is, like, why come? Like, why come at all? You know what I'm saying? Like,
facts.
Why come?
So, like I said, she tried her best to be involved as little as possible.
That's the part that, listen, I do to a certain extent get it if you just don't feel comfortable with these.
And that's what I'm saying. That would have been fine. That's not a problem at all, because you're not a people person. Right. I 100% sympathize with that.
Yeah.
I ain't got to empathize. I know how that feel.
Same.
But you being extra. You're being extra. Yeah. You're actively trying to not be a part of things.
And kind of, it's one of these things where, you know, we down here together, and you helping to put a damper on the experience for every else to go out of your way to be. Like, it's one thing to be a little standoffish.
Right.
Go out of your way, it's a little crazy.
I don't think anybody had, except for the one girl, maybe because they they went to high school together.
Right.
But I don't think anybody else was going down there expecting you to be best friends with them.
No, I don't think so.
No.
Like that shit.
That's not a requirement.
It's always a nice surprise when you go somewhere with a group of people, even people you never went that way before, don't have that much experience, and y'all wind up getting along and y'all cool and y'all. That's always dope, right? But it's not a requirement. Yeah. Just be civil and just we down. It's nice as shit down here. You can't find one reason. You can't find
not one reason to just be happy.
Yeah,
to be
like
jolly. And here's the thing. I'd be right. What I said was my worst fear about now. I don't know how bad it got, because I don't need to know. Again, what happens in his relationship?
Yeah, that's that shit.
I know from talking to him that they have good times. It's not. This isn't no shit like So like I said, as long as he's happy, I'm happy. Again, I don't give a fuck how she feel about me.
I want to know, did Fab enjoy his whole birthday trip? Because it looked like
he enjoyed. Yes, overall he enjoyed himself. But like I said, I'd be right. I knew going into this, I was like, shit. My worst fear is her trying to keep Fab from us.
Yeah.
Fab finding out some way to get away.
Yeah.
And her catching the attitude.
Yeah. I can see that.
And that happened twice during this trip. So when while everybody else is complaining about him not being around, I'm like, yo, sure, I want Fab around, but he's with somebody that is actively against that. And in a situation where it's please my friends or please the person I'm in a relationship with, it's a stupid situation to be in. But I know what the best decision is in general.
Yeah.
So I'm not tripping off it.
No. I mean, he ain't do nothing wrong for real. Like
no.
Like again, he's in a relationship with this person, and they could be going through any kind of rough patch, and you wouldn't even know. And he's repairing shit for all you know.
Facts.
So you don't know what's going on over there. So
you gotta give him that leeway.
You gotta give him the leeway and not make it harder on him, especially when sometimes you gotta put yourself in the shoes of the other person and say, well,
he said we shall see.
sometimes you gotta put yourself in the other person, your friend's shoes, and go, okay, this person is in a situation right now. So I don't know everything that's going on right here, but I know it will not make things easier on them if I act ass. If I start saying, "No, what the fuck? You ain't trying to hang out with people?"
Right? No,
I'm not
bringing
that energy. I'm not bringing.
It's not helpful.
I don't know what exactly is going on over there, but I'm not going to bring my folks that extra tug from that. We ain't doing that.
Mind you, on top of me introducing them, on top of me cultivating the seeds, and on top of me giving my blessing, I spent this entire trip defending her.
Right.
But anyway, so like I said, we had the wings, we had champagne, we had the balloons and shit, the little streamers. Stefan fucked it up for us. Like, it was amazing.
You had wings. Like,
yeah, he went above and beyond because the wings thing was not supposed to happen.
Yeah,
he specifically told me, he's like,
might not get those wings.
It's a little hard. But
y'all better tip. Y'all better have tipped.
Oh, nigga, I tipped him on the first day, and I tipped him on the last day. Yeah, no, fuck that. He went above and beyond.
Of course, I'm always going to tip unless you are completely garbage, right?
Yeah, right.
But the fact that he got wings, like, you already know it's
bruh.
Fuck wings. That's it.
And those wings was good as fuck too. Yo, those wings was good as fuck.
Was they as good as the wings we had down?
Yes, at Sandlot. Yes.
Damn it.
Yes. 100%. That's fact. The wings is good. I ain't gonna hold you. So we had a fruit platter. Like I said, Stefan did his thing. So we listened to music, we shooting the shit. When the champagne glasses came,
y'all niggas kill me. I hate y'all.
I hit Marcus. Like, yo, can you take care of this? He was like, I got it. So he opened up the bottle, pouring glasses. So Fab doing his little speech. The whole time he was giving his speech, again, she's still sitting as far away as possible. And she's sitting off in the distance, rolling her eyes.
Oh, yo, no, P.
And she starts drinking the champagne. There's no way that you don't know protocol. Everybody else is sitting here with their glass raised, and you sitting there rolling your eyes, sipping on the champagne. Everybody else is sitting there like this.
Yo, that's ugly, bro.
I'm like, come on, yo. Like,
that's, to me, just saying, to me, that's more than just standoffish. That's hostility.
Right.
That's hostility. And
yeah. So that happened. Then then this happened. Gotta show y'all.
Oh shit.
There's video evidence of this.
Oh shit.
Share screen.
It was good in 4K. Nah, yo. No, this video is not gonna do that, yo. It's not. Niggas wilding, niggas drinking. Nigga, look at this. Shit right here. Niggas beating on tables. Like, the fuck? Niggas got liquor in a Windex bottle, it looks like. Like, niggas.
Oh, Vermin, you can't hear the audio? All right, hold up. We're going to have to bring it back. Tim, you go ahead and mute your mic.
Oh, all right.
That's backwards. Why you just flip the damn camera? I don't know the button. Shut up. Just do what you're doing. Shut up. Did you flip it, motherfucker? Now I flipped it. Shut up and go.
But I'll turn the music off.
Facebook takes over.
His fault, yeah.
Facebook takes over.
Alright,
What we doing here? The whole bottle?
Yep.
The whole.
What we doing?
Finishing the bottle of mango rum.
Oh shit.
We're not doing this on my birthday.
Bullshit.
I'll do this with water.
Let's get the hat for that.
Yeah, we need to have it.
Yeah.
They so taking me for a piss. Damn you, MTA. What the fuck, bro? What the fuck,
I got the big 6-7 next year. Oh, damn.
Really?
Oh, we got some big ones.
Está bien.
Let's go.
One left.
Yo voy a hablar con la persona
Come
para saber
on, y'all.
cuánto
Don't fuck out. Let's finish
You
it.
might get into July.
We ain't trying to go. Let's go. With the shit. Let's go. Let's go.
No, porque yo
Open that other one. It's terrible.
How you gonna be dragged to your word?
All right, so.
I knew y'all would.
If you notice at the
higher
end,
than Fat Charlie's ass.
Shut up!
I knew it.
Shut up! If you notice at the end, there was a head that walked by.
Yeah.
That was his girlfriend leaving the room. She didn't tell him he was leaving. She was leaving. She didn't say goodbye to anyone.
Yo, that didn't happen. She didn't.
You
do
just
that.
saw it.
Tell me that was no.
You just saw it. So, let me see. Where we at? Where did you go? Oh, there we go. So,
Oh man.
it's like I said, she literally just got up and walked out. She didn't tell anybody bye. She didn't let him know she was going to the room. Now, this whole time since dinner talk started, Fab was not being rude or anything, but he was enjoying himself. He was taking the moment in, but he was pushing the evening along because she said she had something planned. As far as I know, she never told him what time she had this thing planned for. She never told him what it was. Shortly after we shut off that live, he thanked us and he bid us adieu. He comes back 5 minutes later. I can't remember what he said she said, but basically, in this instance as well, I think she was just lying about planning something to try to keep him away from us. I could be wrong. Again, I could be wrong. But
Yo, that's cringy, yo. I ain't gonna lie.
yeah,
That's cringy
it
as
was
fuck.
It was crazy. But
My thing is, Fab don't deserve that.
listen,
on his birthday. He don't deserve that.
y'all know how I feel.
He don't deserve the pull and the push and the pull. He don't deserve that shit. Yo.
Y'all know how I feel.
He don't
But
deserve that.
it is what it is. It is what it is. Outside of that, pretty much the entire trip was amazing. Like,
Allow me just to say quickly to thank my wife, who actually got me to care about having a birthday, because that's not my family. That wasn't the thing.
right.
It's a certain way you gotta act in on people's birthdays, man. You can't just be,
Bruh, it's like, yo, what are we doing here? Why is this? Why? Can't you just again, I am not asking you to be nobody's best friend.
No.
I'm not asking you to be up in here hugging on people and all that other shit. I'm just asking you to simply be here.
It's his birthday. Put him first. Like,
That's it.
put his
For
experience.
this one moment.
Yeah,
Even
put
if the
his
rest of the week would have went
experience.
how the rest of the week went. Yeah. For this one moment, just be in this with him.
Yeah.
That's it.
Be happy
That's
that
all.
be happy that he's happy. You know what I'm saying?
Bruh.
That's not.
You see him in his element with his friends enjoying himself. Let that be my thing, me personally. If I'm in a relationship with somebody, again, like you said, it don't even have to be a romantic relationship. Any relationship outside of a work relationship, and even some work relationships.
Even some work, yeah.
If I see you enjoying yourself, that I'm enjoying that.
Long as you,
No matter what the situation is. Again, we went down to that damn disco.
Excuse me.
I wasn't discotheque. I'm sorry. We went down to that damn discotheque. I ain't know none of the music. But Marcus and our homegirl, they was having fun. They was fucking it up. Cool. I'm good. until he started asking me to hold his bag and shit. Like, no, nigga. but outside of that, I'm good.
Yeah.
Again, she don't like me. She makes Fab happy. I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. I made this joke, and now it's changed. But I made this joke like because when Fab got married, our other homeboy was supposed to be his best man, but his wife vetoed that shit.
Oh,
so I ended up being the best man.
Damn
I
it.
told him, I said, Fab, you know I can't be your best man this time, right? There's absolutely no. I said it's going to have to be Marcus. Now after this trip, Marcus ain't
trying to do it either. That's fucked up.
So it is what it is. Like I said, again, I want to reiterate. Y'all see Fab in the fucking chat. I'm not slandering her.
No, right. You just saying what happened.
She, again, overall, I feel like she's a good person. I would not have even.
This was not a good moment.
If I didn't feel right, if I didn't feel like she was a good person, when he asked me about her, I would have been like, "Yo, do not do it."
Right.
Now, I did say,
"Don't do
go
it."
ahead, but understand what you. I did say, go ahead, but
understand.
These are the things you need to worry about. Like these are things that are going to pop up.
You know what it is, bro? It's like all of us have not so shining moments, right? So if you want to give somebody some grace, you know what I'm saying? That'll be it.
Even if they don't give it to you.
Even if they don't give it to you, right.
If they didn't do anything to act, for all accounts and purposes, before, like, we were talking years and years ago. Like, it was probably at least 3-4 years before the Cancun trip that we stopped talking.
Right.
Before the end of the Cancun trip, she had nothing but good shit to say about me.
Right.
Nothing.
Now you ain't shit.
Well, but again, that's because in her mind, I actually did something to her. Mm-hmm. And that's what I was about to say. If you ain't do nothing to me, you get the grace, unless you want some super, super, super bullshit.
Yeah, that's true.
And she ain't do nothing to me.
Right.
She was a stick in the mud on the Cancun trip. She was a stick in the mud on this trip. But I knew that it was going to happen on this trip because I had already experienced the Cancun trip.
Yeah.
So she ain't cussed me out in my face. She probably did in her head.
Probably called all kinds of motherfuckers in there.
I was all kinds of motherfuckers. Ain't no way in the world. Yeah. But she ain't doing it in my face.
I mean, look,
she ain't
bro.
never physically attacked me or no shit.
Right.
Like
it's
that.
nothing.
Like, there's no reason. Like I'm too old, and I know that life is too short for me to have a grudge against somebody for
that didn't do
them.
Yeah, they didn't really do.
It didn't cause me no damage. I ain't lose no money off of her.
Yeah.
Like,
you know what though? There is. I'm petty as fuck, bro. So it really does depend on what, but nothing you're describing here sounds like the stuff that would have me.
Nah, my get back was those last 2 days in Cancun.
Right.
I was satisfied after that.
Yeah, facts.
I put her in her and that's the thing. Because she was on some other shit that last day.
Yeah.
Because we had agreed to barter because she was doing the massage business and her pictures were terrible. So I'm like, yo, let me do some pictures for you.
You agreed to barter?
Yeah.
Bargain. You just come to.
I've come. Dormammu. I've come to. Okay. So I was like, all right, you give me a massage, I'll go ahead and do your pictures.
Right.
Even Steven. So that was the plan going into the trip. But then she showed her ass the first 4 days.
Yeah.
I was already doing a photo shoot for my cousin. So we happened to meet up that night, and I was doing a shoot. And as we're walking, she's like, take my picture. No.
You see my eyes?
Right. It's like, I don't know. I think she wasn't around me enough around other people to know better than to approach it that way. Because anybody that has seen me interact with people knows damn well that's not going to work.
Yeah, I was about to say,
I operate. That's not how I operate. You don't tell me what the fuck to do with my shit.
I had a supervisor. I had a supervisor when I worked at Baltimore Spice, and it was something he was absolutely supposed to do, and as part of the process of the work we were doing that he did not do. And I, admittedly, was a huge pain in the ass on that job to any bosses. And probably a few employees, but I ain't gonna lie, I hold you. I was ass, right?
Facts.
I told him, yo, you need to be doing. He was like, nigga, don't tell me shit, and didn't do it because listen, what the fuck?
There's a way.
How I said it. There's a way.
Right.
And like I said, I take full. Like I was at Baltimore Spice. I was an asshole. I met a lot of friends, super cool, all of that. But when it came to the bosses and shit like that, nigga, fuck you. That was my whole mentality there, and to the point where the plant manager at the time, when they were laying people off for the first time in the history of the company, you know my name was in the first tier of that shit, right? And he was afraid to tell me in his office for fear that I would do something. I was an asshole, but I was also going through some shit at the time. I just went through this whole thing with my daughter's mother. Shawan was still a baby. I'm going through this shit, trying to figure out how to fuck. And now I feel like I'm in the same situation as my father. I didn't want to be my father. So it was a whole bunch. I was going through some shit at that time.
Mentally you wasn't quite.
I was. Right. Yeah, I was. Yeah. Shut up, Napalm. This, by the way, this is where I met Napalm. At Baltimore Spice and shit. Yo, mind your business. Mind your business.
Yo, that's funny. Okay, so all right, here's the thing. There's more.
I just realized that Napalm posted that. Leave Gerald alone, yo. Leave Gerald alone, yo.
I have more, but it's not about the fucking trip. So you do.
Okay.
Yeah.
This week, this is not the comic book stuff. Is not the first business I've run.
Correct.
So you certain experiences that you had with the other stuff. This is just part of the price of doing business. But you're talking about the Asian dude. I know you're talking about. Plant manager. But I gotta say, some of the way some of these people in this particular industry do business is garbage. It's 2022. Commerce online has been established as a thing. It's evolved. People have figured out the best ways to do a lot of it. So when I go to your website, I expect for there to be one, and clear examples of what you do. 2, I expect for there to be a price list. 3, I expect there to be an order form that I can order right there on your fucking site. So as most of you know, I am in the midst of getting things together to close out this Kickstarter once and for all. The last thing that needs to be produced are the metal books, the metal covered books. That is the last thing that's on the list. I set the company in a position to kind of do that as efficiently as we know how for the moment, given the size of the company and the resources that we have.
And the experience.
We have. This is the last leg of it. Speaking of which, next week, all of you that purchased the tier that comes with the poster and the book, that's going out next week, Monday. Shipping that shit out. However, I go to this website that was suggested to me, and I can find all 3 of those things that I said, they were ass. The worst for me is not having a price list and not having an order form and making me have to email you for you to email me back a price list. What? It's 2022. 2022. And online commerce has been perfected. We know how to do this shit now. That should never be a thing. But upon recommendation, I went ahead, sent them an email. 3 days passed. I heard nothing. So what I did was look at other companies that do the same thing. I finally found one that looked like they had all their ducks in a row. Went to their site. They had a price list. They had examples of what the shit going to look like, and they had the order form and how you upload the digital whatever version that you have for them to print up and make all that shit happen. And then I got to the upload part, and it was broken.
Oh, of course it was.
So what wound up happening was it wound up still being an email type thing, but in their defense, at least they were responsive, and found a way to make it happen.
Right.
So at some point, I'm going to get the demo to make sure that is the style that I want for that, and then I'll place the larger order. But for the record, any of you out here, and it's going to be probably more people hearing this once it goes up on the streaming services and right here in the live stream. If you have any intentions on doing business, there is no way to get around doing business online. If you don't have an online presence,
pretty much,
you don't have a business for real.
Right.
But when you do that, even if you're still building your website, you should have something for people to be able to go to, see the product, see how much it costs, and place the fucking order. You should not have to email me. This should be I am currently looking for ways to even streamline what we're doing now.
Yo, Palm his ass.
Yo, no, Palm eats
carrier
Palm
needs to be stopped.
he eats carrier pigeons. That's what he does. Greedy bastard. So look, right? Like that part really annoyed me because, in the past there have been things that I've done in the learning experience when it comes to running a business that you learn by taking the L, right? I am not trying to take a shit ton of L's with this. I prioritize this above all the other businesses that I had before. This is the one right here. And I feel like because of that, I am a bit more stringent on how the shit is run, because more than half of new starter businesses fail within a couple of years. Yeah. And I don't want this one to be that one.
I think it's significantly more than half.
Probably, but I didn't know the exact number. I just knew it was more. You know what I'm saying? So, but again, I don't want this to be the case with that. I feel like this last 12 months have been a reasonably good 12 months. Even with a couple of the L's we took, it didn't sandbag us. And when I look at all the things that boxes we managed to check off from this in these 12 months, that is encouraging to me to see what we do in the next 12 months, right?
Yeah, this was just season one.
This was just season one. You feel me? So again, no more L's and ladies of lackluster ass. But no, like that's the thing. The other thing about this week is that I know most of us come from different areas of the country. Where I'm at, right up here in Maryland, it's been nice as a bitch. Listen, this is what I'm talking about right here.
Not as nice as mine, but
how could it have been?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if the reason why it was so nice this past week is because you wasn't in Maryland. That could have been.
Listen, I
You know what I'm saying? That could have been. That could have been it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
The other that was beautiful, but I still didn't walk as much as I could have because I was just busy and engrossed with other shit. But I'm hoping we get another week of that so I can take it. Like today it's 80, which I'll take 80 as long as it ain't no human. I'll take 80. That ain't shit. But it was nice shit this week. The other thing, and I don't know if this is going into our main topic or whatever, but I gotta say, y'all never disappoint about nothing y'all do. Y'all never disappoint. It's always, if I'm looking for any topics that need to be addressed, all I gotta do is just look on social media and see the horse shit. Everything from this is really the only observation I'm gonna make on this particular subject because it leads into something else. But what I've noticed these past 2 weeks, this is one of these fascinating times when you see the difference between people who think of monarchs and the whole colonial shit like they're part of some fantasy world, like Disney stories. The difference between them and those who had to live under those monarchies and how they talk about it, how their parents can talk vividly about the cruelty and the lasting input of it, just by looking at the response to the death of Queen Elizabeth. Some of y'all think it's a fucking game because you didn't have to deal with it or you didn't have family members that had to live under that shit. Right. But it is absurd that at least every 6 days there is a country celebrating Independence Day from the British Empire. That shit is crazy, bro. And if y'all just would look at some of the atrocities committed in the names of that family and that monarch family, when I see people doing the most right now, it's a smack in the face, and it's to me a global showing, revealing just the stark differences and experiences from people and the histories they had and shit they had to deal with, how people interpret it, and also how motherfuckers are just not empathetic. We not talking about they made y'all do some things or you had her face on your money. Go look up what they did in Kenya,
bruh.
It's crazy.
Hold on. Before even all of that, right? Mm-hmm. I'm seeing the people mad at the people making jokes. 3 things. She lived a full fucking life. Yo, this isn't a scenario where...
Didn't she die at 196? Something like that?
No. Nigga, she was 96. Oh. This isn't like Di, who died in a car accident in a fucking tunnel that is questionable and other things may have happened. And she's a much fucking nicer person. But anyway, this ain't dead. Right. This is someone who lived 96 years. Who was born rich. Yeah. That's number 2. Yeah. Born rich. Yeah. And number 3, she reigned for 70 years.
Bro. Listen, show me somebody that's done anything for 70 years.
Bruh!
The fuck?
Like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? Like, y'all
how is this tragic, yo?
Bruh!
How's it? Yo, and it's like you said, it's the fantasy of it, bro. And I'm gonna tell you who I blame for much of that, at least for here in the United States. Disney.
Sure.
Disney. Sure. The influence of a lot of their content. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of people grew up with
the Disney princess thing.
Yeah, and
it's a thing.
It's a whole thing, and motherfuckers see that and they get captured into the allure of the fantasy of it and not the reality of people's lives.
I saw that, Biddy. Hold up, yo. Nobody can be buried on the 19th.
Yeah.
In that area because she's getting buried. Food banks are closed on the 19th. Even in her death, she is still doing these things that should make y'all motherfuckers realize she's not someone to be canonized.
None of them are. Listen, see, this is the thing that kills. Yo, what I mean by the empathy is having the ability to differentiate between the fantasy imagery and pageantry with real life consequences on the ground. Not for a month, not for a year. We're talking centuries of subjugation in a lot of places that are still dealing with the ramifications and fallout from their experience with these motherfuckers. So it's like, on her crown, she literally had jewels they took from. If you can't see why there's a bunch of people going, man, fuck her.
Right.
I don't know what to say to you. I really don't, except for you. The next time you go and watch any movies or TV shows or read any books that portray the super connected, super wealthy, super oppressive power structure and the little guys that are crushed by that, you cannot tell me you identify with the little guys. You can't tell me you do.
Ogman needs to be stopped.
He said, I'm dancing. I'm doing a jig while he's crying about. Yo, listen, bro. Listen. All of that is really fucked up. And listen, while I blame the Disney, I don't blame them for making content. They do what they do, but you just know that they were popular enough to have an effect on the way people perceive that. Right. And from that, something else I saw from y'all, really crazy. All this nonsense about the Little Mermaid shit. Like, that shit, I don't know what that reveals to you, SVJ, but to me, right, it reveals just how fucking stupid people actually are. Again, look, I just need to say this. Mermaids aren't human.
That is breaking news, my guy.
Apparently, but it shows just really how hostile many people are about the presence of black and brown people in any role that doesn't fit a stereotype. Because, see, 70 years of Disney movies centered around one demographics, superiority, sensibilities, cultural prejudice. That wasn't enough for them. Hollywood's been around roughly about 112 years. And those, y'all know, them films, all you got to do is just look at the list of films that they have produced from out Hollywood. Marginalized, slandered, undermined the perception of, and in most cases, even outright just disrespected various groups of people. You know what I'm saying? That didn't, and it was always the people that didn't have power in this country. So just imagine how funny it is for people like me right now in 2022 to see people who didn't make a peep about it during that whole 112 years of fuckery. Didn't make a peep about none of this shit, despite how obvious it was, right? Like the way white actors, they would routinely play people from other cultures, going so far to slant their eyes. We're blackface.
But specifically, people,
not
fictional
creatures,
mythical images, and people. Pretty much every mainstream movie about Egypt.
Oh my goodness,
has been played by white people.
Bro, go back and watch. My daughter, for her school assignment, she had to go back and watch this movie about Native Americans. But It was the one with Dustin Hoffman in it called Little Big Man, right? Yo, damn near every native in there was a white guy with makeup and shit on his face, right? For years, completely just misrepresenting other groups and people who really had to live under those like harmful perceptions of them, like the entire time. Do you have any idea how fucking gross, demeaning, and disgusting it is to be lectured by these people who had no problem with it all these years about it now that they think this is what's happening to them? It's fucking disgusting. You was cool with the bullshit for all this time, so please miss me with the I always knew it was wrong, because there was literally no movement of any of you to criticize Hollywood for that shit, or at least the vast majority. With all the social privilege of perception that allowed you to say anything you wanted to say at any time, nobody was stopping you. And most of you said nothing.
Yeah, Betty, I sent Tim a TikTok about this. They not mad at their white Jesus pic on their wall.
Nope.
Here's the thing.
Nope.
No matter what you feel about the Bible, there were not white people in
Right. Yo, and this is why I do have to give credit to the few people who did say some shit.
Yo, Uncle.
His ass. Pocahontas wasn't Agro Trail. How that went down? No, as a matter of fact, it wasn't. But that's why, like I said, you got to give credit to the few people that did say something, because it take a special person to see beyond their time and era and look at something like in the conditioning of your time and era and go, yo, this is bullshit. And y'all know this is bullshit, right? And have the fucking balls, not just to say it, but to actually say something. Because they know damn well that the power structure of society is going to penalize them for that shit. So I'm going to highlight one of them right now. Marlon Brando. Now, I know a lot of y'all of a certain age that don't really have big memories of Marlon Brando, except for in The Godfather rendition, all this like that. But Marlon Brando went on public record to speak on that shit back then, and he was mocked and ridiculed for the shit. But to quote him, he said, I don't think people realize what the motion picture industry has done to the American Indian. As a matter of fact, all ethnic groups, all minorities, all non-whites. So when someone makes a protest of some kind and says, no, please, don't present the Chinese this way. On this network, he was talking specifically, while he was on TV, he said you can see silly renditions of human behavior. The leering Filipino houseboy, the wily Japanese or the gook, the idiot black man, the stupid Indian. Like, the shit goes on and on and on, and people don't realize how deeply these people are injured by seeing themselves represented. Not the adults who are already inured in that kind of pain and pressure, but the children, Indian children, seeing Indians represented as savage, ugly, vicious, treacherous, drunken. They grow up with a negative image of themselves, and it lasts a lifetime. Then he goes on further to say, John Collier's novel, Indians of the Americas. That was the book that really wised him up to the genocide and oppression of Native Americans. He said, after reading the book, I realized I knew nothing about the American Indian, and everything that we are taught about the American Indian is wrong. It's inaccurate. Our school books are hopelessly lacking, criminally lacking in revealing what our relationship was with the Indian. Now you take Indian out of it and juxtapose that with every other single fucking group.
Yep.
It's the same shit. So when and again, it was silence from the vast majority of people for 70 years, nay, 100 years. And now all of a sudden, these people want to sit and lecture everybody on some shit that they didn't see as a problem for all that fucking time. That shit's so fucking funny to me. And I don't respect it. I really don't. This is a fictional fucking character, and you're not worried about culture. Because I saw that other thing too. Oh, I don't like how they misrepresenting the culture. This was a Danish people. Yeah. Ariel is a Hebrew name.
Facts.
It means Lion of God.
Yep.
No, none of these people complained about them changing that name. Not a Danish name, mind you.
Right.
A Hebraic name. So it's not about that. It's about the hostility.
No.
It's about the hostility. because we are supposed to fit in certain stereotypes. So to be clear, what we learned these past 2 weeks, black people can't be hobbits, even though Tolkien described the Harfoots, which are the ones that's being displayed in the Rings of Power show, as dark brown. Black people can't be hobbits. Black people can't be elves. Because it was it's black elves in there, Latino elves in there on that show. And apparently we can't be mermaids either. We can't be none of that shit.
Yeah.
Like that shit is and then the purposeful acting like you don't understand is when you say shit like, what if there was a white guy that played Black Panther? Now I know you're trolling. Because
you can't possibly be, you're being disingenuous as fuck. But on top of back to your culture thing, y'all are comparing the remake to the original Disney cartoon.
Yes.
And then when it satisfies your argument, you're invoking the original work.
Facts.
Because Disney's The Little Mermaid that was released in 1989 was not like a shot for shot. Right. It was not a remake. It was loosely based on.
All of their shit is.
All of it. Because those original fairy tales, all those grim, they were not, there were no happy endings. Yeah. No. All of the Disney versions of these stories are heavily changed from what the original story was. Y'all didn't complain about this shit back then.
No, because it's not that. And
it's not about upholding of the culture.
It's not. B, it's not. Look, on one of the TikToks, and I went and looked up, I fact check all this shit. It said 2% of people Danish people are black. That's 150,000 people roughly from their population, right? They don't deserve no representation. Oh, let me guess. They not Danish because of melanin. See, this is what I'm saying. Like y'all reveal yourselves when you do that, and don't think we don't see it. And listen, there's such a thing as just not being aware, right?
Sure,
there's something not being aware. I get a classic example.
Then act like it though.
Right. I understand. There are certain IPs that have been around for the longest time that I had to re-examine again and go, whoa, this is cringy as fuck. Whoa, damn, Indiana Jones, that woman right there, she was actually a kid when in the context of the story, when y'all first met, she was a kid. That's kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? Tarzan. The way it's portrayed, the heroic, this, that, and other. A lot of people don't even think about the fact that, damn, how insulting is it? There's a continent full of niggas. Their whole, a lot of their religious sensibilities deal with nature, the land, the animals, and how they relate to all of that. They live there. Their families have lived there for not even thousands, millions of years. They've been there. And a white guy gets raised by apes. And all of a sudden, he's faster, stronger, more clever than all of them. That. Now I get when you're watching a rendition of Joseph Campbell's Journey of the Hero, you get behind that technique is meant for you to get behind the hero and his journey. So you might overlook all of those other things and then go, wow, he's a badass. But take just a little bit of time when somebody says, yo, that's very insulting, right?
Yeah.
He's more African than all the other he can do all of this shit, right? It's insulting. And this is how I know the difference between people who just didn't think about that part of it with the people that are being disingenuous. Because as you said, SBJ, they keep flipping back and forth to win when it suits their argument. They're either going to cite the remake, and if that don't fit their argument in this particular time, they'll cite the original.
Don't go to the original.
You're being disingenuous.
Right.
And that's what it is, but more so than that, You're just being outright stupid. At the risk of being redundant, mermaids aren't human. So your fucking phenotype prejudices need not apply. Elves aren't human.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck? Who are you siding with? What nation are you? Nation of elves? What nation?
You're protecting that class,
right? Like, seriously, what racial solidarity is your human ass trying to have with mermaids?
As McKenna alluded to earlier, if we're trying to be accurate now, if now we're deciding we want to be accurate and factual, the mermaids would look more like manatees because that's what the fuck that whole thing was.
They were seeing, bro.
Right.
Look, Mike said I side with the half nation. yo, listen. But to show you the level of fuckery, these are the same people. And for the record, me and SBJ actually talked about some of this before the show.
Mm-hmm.
We see what a lot of you motherfuckers are going to try to do, and we not having it. There will be pushback. Yeah. That girl didn't do nothing wrong except in that job, and we already saw what you did with other young actors, like the Asian girl in that Star Wars movie that completely wound up leaving social media because she was harassed so much for accepting a job.
Yeah.
What y'all gonna try to do with your bigoted bullshit is now try to do to this little girl, Halle Berry. Try to do to her what you did. You're gonna make this take this experience away from her, so she don't even. This is as a young actress. She's like, oh shit, I'm in a Disney. Y'all gonna try to take that from her? Because here's the thing, the job is the job. She already got that. That's going to happen.
The film has already been made.
The film has already been made. But what you're going to try to do is get on your social media bullshit and harass her on her like she did something wrong for accepting a fucking job, probably her dream fucking job. There's going to be pushback because I told SBJ I don't give a rat's ass about the fucking Little Mermaid story.
Right.
That shit came out in '89. In '89, I was in the streets. I was not giving a fuck about none of that shit, right? But it's the principle. I went and followed her on all the social media shit I can find her on. Because the moment I see motherfuckers, I know it's coming. I'm going to be in there calling y'all a bunch of bitch-ass motherfuckers for harassing that girl.
Facts. All facts.
Like she did something wrong.
Right.
She accepted she went, auditioned, and got a job. Don't you motherfuckers got a job? Go do that.
Yep.
Y'all not even the man at your job. See, they gonna get me real crazy to them in a minute. You ain't even the man at your job. Shut the fuck up. She about to be the man.
Facts.
She about to be the man on that set.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Without question. I run shit
here.
here. Fuck y'all gonna do without Ariel.
Right, nothing. I run shit around here.
Ironically, then this would be one of those times where they would flip-flop. Because the original, the person that was in charge of, I can't remember if it was the writer, director, whatever, of the 1989 joint, he was from Baltimore.
Interesting.
And there was a drag queen that was popular in the area. And he used that drag queen as inspiration for Ursula.
Yes.
The main villain of the fucking movie. So I haven't seen y'all saying nothing about that.
Yes.
Mainly because y'all don't know that character was based off of a black drag queen.
Bro.
So y'all ain't
okay. They didn't know. But you know what? Their bigotry will catch up with it because this is what the fuck they do. This is what they do. And y'all miserable as shit, but I'm gonna tell you right now what's gonna happen. That movie gonna come out. And if it's any good, if it's even remotely good, you're going to have to eat it. Because that's going to be the representation of Ariel from now on.
Moving forward.
These kids going to go watch that. Your kids going to watch that. Your nieces, your nephews going to watch that and go, Ariel. Now they might. I'm sure a lot of them may have seen the old version too.
Yeah.
Right. Guess what they gonna say though? Oh, that's both Ariel. That's Ariel and that's Ariel. I saw somebody said, red hair. This is a black. How is black with red hair? Yo, my cousin Loretta was born with red hair. Malcolm X had red hair. What the fuck are y'all talking about?
There are black gingers all over the like. What are you?
Yeah.
And here's the thing, what you just said about the little kids and Ariel. I saw several videos where the adult in the room was playing the commercial, and the little black girl was like, "Wait, that's Ariel?
Right.
She looks like me."
Right. Right.
Like
Diddy
Diddy
just said the same thing.
Anybody who wants to take that away, why would? For what?
Because
For what?
Because just to be spiteful. And again, so basically these people are rioting. What's the difference between this and back in the day them overturning school buses because they didn't want?
Right.
You are exactly what those people are if you do shit like that. If you go on her social media and try to harass her about her accepting a fucking job, you are exactly like those people.
Yeah.
Get over it. And anyway, that old cartoon animated shit is still you can still watch that.
Absolutely.
No one's taking anything. It's not taking anything.
Point of order, sir. Point of order, sir. That goes back to my point that I made on here several months ago about people talking about the new iterations of things ruining. No. You can just always watch the old one.
It's true. The old one still exists.
You can always watch. It's still there.
Yo,
it's more available now than it was when it came out.
Facts. Yo, I say the same thing about from a music standpoint, right? Yeah. So artists grow. They evolve, they change over time, they have different things happen in their life, and it affects their art. Whatever I was rapping about in 2012, those songs are still out there.
Still exist.
That don't mean I literally just had
a sale for your whole discography the other day.
Facts.
You could buy the whole discography for the price of one.
Right.
And just go listen to those songs.
That's it. Like, yo, you don't have Og was asked. You don't
apparently you haven't moved past it, Aubrey.
You're not losing. That music still exists. You can just go and listen to that. But what's not going to happen is, as an artist, I'm going to remain in that stale ass box and keep talking about that same shit after I done ran it in the fucking hole. Like, that's not happening. And then, you know what the complaint always is? If you do that, they'll complain about that.
Oh, yeah.
You ain't really grow as an artist.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, those old movies are still out there. You can go and see Ariel from '89. You can go see that shit. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean that somebody's taking something from you because this girl went and accepted a job to play a mythological creature. We're not even talking about a mythological person. We're saying a mythological creature that's not even human. Fuck out of here.
McKenna, that's because the vast majority of kids don't care about all this shit.
Yeah, that's what it is.
They simply don't care about all this shit. They don't. Yeah. That all that shit is taught.
It's taught. They watch their parents freak out over the shit, and they take cues from the parents. This is what has been said numerous times throughout the years. Is that bigotry? You take a white kid and a black kid, without the influence of the bullshit of society around them. They will play together.
Hold up. Yo, Palm, facts. I brought that up before we started the show.
Yes.
The fucking crab is a Jamaican speaking with an accent, singing reggae music.
What's the big song? What's the big song from there?
Under the sea. Under the sea, everything's better. Down where it's wetter for you. What the fuck are we? What are we talking about here? That's Danish to you?
That sounds Danish to you?
Come the fuck on, man.
Stop, B. What did we say earlier? We asked how far
away are the West Indies from Denmark? Get the fuck out of my face, man.
5,048 miles. Come on, man. Like, stop it.
Bruh.
It's ridiculous.
Come on now, get the fuck out my face.
It's ridiculous.
Y'all can't really like
And then it's adult. And look who doing it. It's the adults.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
why should you care so much? Oh, hold on. Please tell me you're done because that's a perfect segue into what I got.
I'm done. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go on.
So, dumbass of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, I've talked about this phenomena before. Generational gang banging.
Mind your business.
Funny. That's fun. That's actually hilarious. Generational gang banging will ever be eligible for dumbass of the week anytime I see it. No matter which generation the person participating in it is in. Admittedly, the newer the generation, the more leeway I give them, because the younger the generation, the more likely it is that they are just defending themselves. Because it's a thing. It's a thing that happens with older people more than with younger people. Even then, it's still stupid to me.
It is
like if a dude punches you and you shoot him, I think that's stupid. But he invited the stupidity.
Yeah.
So, the focus today is on Gen X. Sorry. But now, as with all blankets, this clearly does not apply to the entire generation X. Of course not.
But they can get it too.
But I often come across two things with the Gen X bangers: crying about erasure, and the back in my days posts. In the wee hours of the morning today, I ran across a post that did both for the first time. I've never seen a post that did both in the same post. And I think the ones who do this are clearly missing the point that's right in front of their faces. Part of the reason that they are quote unquote forgotten is because a lot of their online persona is just boomer.
Yeah, and
boomer.
By the way, boomer, just because the stuff you're referencing is further down the timeline than the boomer stuff, it's your reaction that's the boomer shit. No one's saying that you're citing things from 1940. No,
right?
That's
not the point.
The overall attitude that you're taking,
the way that you swagging it.
Yeah,
it's completely on some boomer shit.
Right.
But like I said, unlike the boomer back in the day posts, most of the ones from Gen X aren't even accurate from the perspective of a millennial.
They are.
One of the worst parts, y'all aren't even consistent with the time periods that y'all try to use for claiming these technologies or experiences. Let me read this fucking. Let me read this thing. So, someone says, baby boomers have been running the country for nearly 3 decades. Some successes, a number of disappointments. It's time to pass the baton to younger generations, millennials and Gen Z. Blah, 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 blah. Somebody responded to him and said, well, what do you suggest that Gen X does with the remainder of our lives? And somebody responded,
no, I really do.
I propose Gen X Island, where we can live out the rest of our days with our forgotten peers, watching movies on VCR, snacking on Jiffy Pop and Tang, Saturday morning cartoons, and tearing up our mouths with Captain Crunch, riding bikes with no helmets, listening to records. The issue with all this.
Well, the other issue with that is, I gotta say, Gen X is not forgotten.
No.
Most of you go watch some of these movies and hear
they are
the music.
The highest making and spending generation in the United States,
bro. Even the music, the aesthetic from the 80s is so often like utilized as a
that's
backdrop.
What we consider retro.
Yeah, how is it?
That's where the nostalgia comes from. Those things in the 80s and the early 90s. When you see people so enamored with punk, with rap, those are things born from Gen X.
Right. So it's a persecution complex.
It is.
Special, yo.
So So let's talk about these things. They mentioned DVDs. I mean, they mentioned VHS.
Mm-hmm.
VHS. So boomers, generally, because none of these are 100% fucking.
The cutoff is not. The cutoff is not.
So general, you're talking about 65 to 80, somewhere in that range. But you're talking about VCRs. And this is what I'm talking about, they be inconsistent with the timeline. VCRs weren't like public and affordable until at least like 77.
That's a fact.
So millennials starts around 81. So that was 4 years. 4-year time where that wasn't a part of the millennial experience only because millennials didn't exist yet.
My daughter's 25 and she remembers putting the tape inside the goddamn.
Coming up, the Rugrats movie, the orange tape.
The orange tape. I know how many of those I bought for my daughter.
Right. Bruh. All right. Jiffy Pop. Okay. Where is it? Sure, it came out back then, but Jiffy Pop to this day is a thing. This isn't something that disappeared with time.
No, nigga.
To this day, they still sell Jiffy Pop. It's one of the only remaining pre-packaged that you can cook it in its own thing. Popcorns. It's one of the only ones remaining.
We still can buy those in stores right now.
Right. Okay. Let me see. Tang became a billion-dollar company.
Also, don't drink Tang, y'all. But go ahead.
I mean,
drink some
Tang became. You want to know when Tang became a billion-dollar company?
When's that?
2011.
Yo, y'all gonna start with the camp, yo.
What the fuck are we talking about here?
Y'all gonna start with the camp.
It did not become a billion-dollar company until 2011. Yes, it came out back then, but I don't know if it was available for public consumption back then. It started off as space food.
Yes, that's all space stuff.
Let me see what else. Oh, they mentioned Saturday morning cartoons. You know when it became a federal mandate for there to be a Saturday morning cartoon block?
When was that?
1996.
Here's the thing about that though. that's before. It was going on before the mandate.
Yeah, it was happening before that.
This is the thing that killed me though. While Facebook was a thing, is when it ended. So that
Facebook came out in 2005.
Right. So what?
Like, what are we talking about? Like, what? Why are you suffering from arrested development? Like, did y'all stop growing and maturing at like 12?
No. I'm gonna tell you what I think it is, bro. I see it happen with every generation. That's why a lot of these conversations, when I see people start having these, that's why you see all the stupidness, right? Because I will guarantee you that the people that are in the comments saying a lot of this shit were on the other side of that issue.
Oh yeah.
10 years prior.
Absolutely.
But y'all, you always become the motherfuckers that you.
When you're not self-aware about this, you're bound to become that.
You're going to become it.
It's just how that goes.
It's a matter of time, B. Like,
yeah. Now here's the thing. So this little company called Disney, they got this little platform called Disney Plus, and there's this little show, this little upstart show coming out called X-Men 97.
Yeah,
there's a reason it's called X-Men 97.
Why is that?
Because back in 97 is when the thing was happening. That's when things were going on. So again, if Gen X started in 65, some of y'all was 32.
Yeah.
By the time that happened. So again, Saturday morning cartoons
was a
thing. And again,
super popular.
Anything before 96, y'all got lucky when y'all got Saturday morning cartoons. It became an actual federal mandate in 1996.
Right.
What are we talking? Okay, let me see what else. Captain Crunch. I'm not even gonna fucking explain this one.
Yo, I hate y'all. I swear.
I'm not even gonna explain this one.
I swear I hate y'all, man. Don't fucking.
And to August's point about Tang coming out in the 50s, it goes again with this y'all picking and choosing what y'all want to use because none of y'all was born in the 50s.
Nope.
So you can't be this. The concept can't be this.
That's ours. That's ours.
Yeah,
because they can't
because it started before y'all.
Yeah,
and it can't be kids don't do this no more because it still exists. So what the fuck are y'all talking about?
Yo, bro, I'm telling you, man, it's like this wanting to be special shit, and I be looking at like, yo, to be honest with you, at several different stages in the growth and timeline of this dumbass conversation, I've seen everybody act boomerish at some point or the other about some shit because there's this thing about ownership. There's also a thing about motherfuckers feeling like the moment the shit they was into gets attacked, now they want to circle the wagons around it and say, this is better than the shit that y'all was doing because this and that. And yo, it's just it's absurd. Like, yo, for people of my Generation X to criticize millennials is dumb because who are the millennial parents?
Yeah, a lot of y'all are our parents. Like, let's cut it out. Like,
So
what are we talking? Oh, that's another thing. That's another thing. The whole latchkey kid thing. That didn't stop in 81.
No, it didn't, yo.
Children were still raising themselves while their parents had to be at work.
Yeah. That's still happening.
That's still happening now. It's not special to y'all. Like, what are we talking about?
That's still happening now, yo.
Being outside to the street lights come on did not stop in 1981.
No. There are still parents
riding your bike without a helmet. What the fuck is a helmet? Me and nobody in my family ever had a bicycle helmet. Not my generation. Even the generations under us, most of them did not ever have bicycle helmets. Why the fuck did you feel the need to put this on this? Right. Why the fuck did you feel the need to put this on the list? What are we talking about?
Like Ogma said, they think they're special. Like, yo,
is this generational gangbanging, yo? I don't like it. It's stupid.
It's dumb. It's stupid. But again,
times change as time changes.
Yeah.
That's really all it is.
And it's crazy because what you see is this is just another part of a larger annoying thing that humans do, where they gather into these little groups, and then now all the other groups are stupid, dumb, this, that, blah, blah, blah. Even though you're doing some of the same shit as the other, and it's overlap because y'all all in the same society. Therefore, it's not like you all was raised on the moon and the next generation came along was raised on another world. It's the same shit still existing right here. So for you to try to, then it's so funny about that is you're really grabbing ownership to shit that y'all had nothing to do with.
Nothing to do with.
Y'all had nothing.
Not a damn thing.
Show me the Saturday morning cartoon you made. Right. That you did the voiceover for. Right. Like, show me. You was just there experiencing it and consume. You were a consumer.
Just like
you fucking NPC. You were just a consumer. You didn't. What the fuck?
It's so annoying, yo.
It don't belong to you. It belongs to the world.
Yo, absolutely. Mind you. And the other thing about this is a lot of it, just like a lot of shit in the United States, is a problem that perpetuates from the power structure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because when you talk about certain things, it's not a matter of time. It's a matter of access.
That's it.
You want to talk about, well, in my day, we had VCRs and blah, blah, this. Okay, well, when the first VCRs came out, number one, they didn't exist here.
No.
They weren't here.
Right.
Panasonic didn't bring the VCR to the United States, I think, until the late 70s. But before that, you know how expensive a VCR was?
It was very fucking expensive.
You could buy a car,
bro,
for the same amount that a VCR was back
I am old enough to have lived in a house without a VCR.
Right. Because you're at Gen X. again, this wasn't a Gen X thing. Right. It started during that time period.
Right.
But again, it was the late 70s.
Yes.
To when they first got over here.
Absolutely. And I remember when we first got it, it was a big deal.
Bruh!
A big deal.
Niggas couldn't afford the shit when it first comes over here. That's not a real thing. Bro.
If it hadn't been for my dad being the type of person that absolutely had to have his entertainment shit, so he was going to splurge on it whether we could afford that shit or not. But it's funny because I used to always say about him, when I got older, I was like, that man busts his ass, he worked, and he comes home, brings his check home. If that man want to have a big screen TV,
absolutely,
and let that man have that shit.
Let that man have it.
Let that man have that shit.
I was saying Tombstone had to take turns doing the puppet show for family entertainment back before electricity was the thing.
No, I'm just saying these are things we had to do, bro. literally using the light from the fire around the thing to do the puppet shit on the wall. Like, nigga, like, what the fuck? What are they talking about? You don't own none of that shit, B. You was just a person that was existing during the time when these strides were happening, or these culturally relevant things for that era were happening. You don't own none of that shit, and it's always overlap. It's always going to be some overlap. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you're not being persecuted. There's no power structure above you that can, like, this specific group.
Yeah.
But people amongst the group, sure.
Yes, absolutely.
But just because you are Gen X does not make you persecuted. Because you're kind of the opposite.
Yeah.
Because, again, they make and spend the most money in this country out of all of the
generations. And this the other thing, too. I have seen people of my generation lose the very thing that the boomers were mad at us about. I remember, I remind everybody when hip hop started to come to prominence and people started to talk that shit, the people that was doing the music, they were counterculture.
Yeah.
A lot of Gen Xers became the culture.
Right.
So you lose the perspective of being the rebel. You lose the perspective of being the people who are misunderstood when you become the culture. Once you're that, it's like when people say they use certain phrases like virtue signaling, right?
Mm-hmm.
They typically try to use that for one specific political shit. No, because here's the thing. If everybody that's talking in that conversation has, let's say, a conservative viewpoint.
Yeah.
One person gets into that group and has a left-leaning viewpoint. The people that are all spewing the conservative bent, why wouldn't that be considered virtue signaling? Because in this situation, the majority of the people, when you say some of those talking points, they're going to agree with that, and they're going to salute that, and they're going to praise that as a virtue. And the person that comes in that doesn't have those talking points, that doesn't buy into that, they're the countercultural. They're the one that's not going along with everyone around there in that group. So it really depends on what the situation is, and the numbers of people that agree to a certain type of way of thinking and worldview.
Facts.
But it's the same with this shit. Once you become the culture, you can't then claim to be the rebel. You are the culture.
What machine did you think they were raging against?
Facts. What the fuck? Fuck out of here. That's why it's always funny to me too when I see politicians do this shit. So you have say a particular political party is out of power momentarily, just for the moment, right? Yeah. They will scream about how they're going to make change, this, that, and the third. And they rage against the machine, and then they get in office.
Right.
Now you're the machine.
You're now the machine.
You're now the machine. So what the fuck? All that, I'm going to be a rebel. Are you really a rebel?
For the time being.
You're the guy in charge?
Right.
Maybe the first year. The first year in your office, because you're making the change. If you got enough people to help vote some of this shit in, maybe the first year. After that, when the culture starts to shift and turns more towards your political persuasion, you ain't the rebel no more. You are the empire.
Yes.
You're the empire.
Facts. It's just
right. Rage Machine
playing at the Republican National Convention. Y'all clearly missed the point.
They don't fuck with you. That's why I don't like. I hate when motherfuckers snatch music when you know the actual meaning that the artist had for it, and they take it for their shit that's completely opposite from what the.
Ugman, that's where that meme came from. I know exactly. That's where that meme came from. What machine did y'all think they were raging against?
Facts.
That's where that meme came from. Yo, and it's like, what do we do? Why do y'all feel like this is necessary? Y'all just want something to complain about? Like, there's plenty of other things you could complain about, I'm sure, that have more validity than you being persecuted because you were born during a certain time period. Like, during a certain time period is your complaint? We're not talking about, like, any of the systemic things that happen to the protected classes that happen to exist in this country. No. We're simply talking about when you were born. Regardless of your creed, race, gender, sexual orientation, regardless of all that, just when you were born. No, not when you're the most successful generation. Well, depending on what you mean when you say success, but currently y'all spend and make the most in this country. What are we talking about? None of this stuff is exclusive to you. I'm pretty sure there are things, right, that came into prominence after 1965 and completely disappeared by the time 1981 came around. Sure, I'm certain, but no, not none of the stuff that I keep seeing on these fucking posts. Like, you can't lay claim to something that can't. I was really mad about the Tang thing. Like, first of all, Tang was invented before Gen Xers were a thing. And then second of all, it reached its peak in 2011. In 2011, most of y'all had mortgages. Like, mortgages and kids going on their way to college. Like, what are we talking about? But it is what it is. Unfortunately, it's not something that's ever going to go away. But every time I see these extreme examples, I'm absolutely going to fight back against it, just for fun. At the end of the day, it is my get back for them being so fucking annoying. And then, like for instance,
we're in the middle. We're in the middle for the past 3 hours.
What are you doing?
Oh, now I was talking to my son.
9 Millie, what up?
Can't hear you.
I know you're supposed to relay the message.
Oh yeah, SBJ says what's up.
God damn. So, like, let's go with the one that I can say might be the most fair, but still doesn't fucking fit. Mm-hmm. The MTV generation. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I want my MTV.
I'll give you a bit of it because it did start with y'all, but it didn't end.
No, it didn't.
In 1981.
It didn't.
That's not what happened. The MTV really started going downhill. I was probably in my mid-teens.
Yeah, and I would argue that's because when MTV first came out, it was about music and playing music videos and shit like that. And then when I would argue that once they started like kind of minimizing that and pushing that up the fuck about it, it really wasn't the same thing anymore.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that happened around when I was in my teens, when they really started focusing on other stuff other than music. So, again, let's say it happened in 2005. Mm-hmm. If it happened in 2005, then again, a lot of y'all niggas was 40 already.
Yeah, so stop it, B.
It's like, what are we talking about?
Stop it, B. Stop it.
Like,
Nah, yo, it's like I said, it's motherfuckers wanting to be special. And then again, I'm gonna tell you, man, it's one of the reasons why team sports is so popular. Because it appeals to a certain thing in us.
That primal feeling.
Yeah. Belong and us against them and all that. And I'm not saying that there are not times when that shit is absolutely very productive and even an evolutionary benefit, right?
Yeah.
But there are, but like everything else,
it's just silly.
It's just silly and it's
silly as
dumb.
fuck. Like, what are y'all doing? Why is this? What are y'all doing, and why do you think it's important? This is important.
And I would like for people to practice their sentience, right? Because they like to say that we are sentient. This and that. Like, you don't acknowledge the program and then do the opposite. Be able to actually look at something and go, even though this is a perfectly natural response, this is dumb in this situation.
Facts.
This is dumb. Yeah. I'm not doing this.
I'm not participating in this bullshit.
It's dumb. Yes, it's very natural instinct to. Absolutely. I'm not doing it because it's dumb.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't serve anything. Like, why? Why does any of this matter? Like, oh, millennials this and millennials that. All right, well, what was happening in the climate? Right.
You raised
them. What people talk nurture
in the world? That's the other thing. If you're saying that, I love that nature versus nurture argument, because if you're saying that it's something wrong with them, they are products of the environment that you adults created.
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking about yourself.
So even if you're not talking about you raising them specifically, you still created the environment that's raising them.
Yeah.
So, argue about yourself.
Dude, I always look at history like there are foundational moments. There are separate foundational moments in every era that determine then how everybody is going to be going forward about certain things, right? So there's certain foundational eras that happened long before I was born that I am still a product of.
Absolutely.
Right? And I feel like when computers became a household thing, that was a foundational change in how we deal with information, how we interact with one another, and a whole bunch of other things that before were really determined based on our proximity to each other. Now I don't have to be close to you to be able to interact with you. Now I can find out about other cultures across the globe without actually having to go there or even walk in their towns and shake the hand of the person from. I don't have to do none of that shit anymore. That's a foundational change, and we have not accounted for it completely. The full impact of what's that going to do to humans. But just seeing some of the early shit, it doesn't bode well, right? This shit doesn't bode well, because for all the good intentions that, listen, what this tech has allowed me to do shit that I never would have thought I'd been able to do. So I'm a huge proponent of it, but it's not lost on me that certain changes in human behavior and what that's going to look like going forward, and whether or not that's for the better or for the worse. Because I got to tell you, the ability for y'all to gang pile up on kids or young people, because for instance, the whole aerial thing, the ability for y'all to be able to do that in mass numbers, I don't think that's a good development for the human species. I really don't. Punch them in the face, Ogman. Really don't. Somebody told me they can't listen to rap today because it's too violent. They prefer pocket. Yo, y'all sound dumb as fuck.
Tell me you don't listen to rap without
telling me you don't listen to rap, yo. You sound dumb as fuck.
Who shot you? Hit him up.
Hit him up is a foundational diss song, right? Yeah. That's a foundational diss song in hip hop. That's where it went away from me dogging the way you rap. that went away from me doing like talking about some other shit, and I being witty with it. Now I'm just getting on here and making this shit rap.
To quote the prolific Tulificus Pockicus. My fofo make sure all y'all kids don't grow.
There's no metaphor anywhere.
Too violent.
First of all, fuck you and the click. Fuck your bitch and the click you claim. There is no metaphor.
There's no nuance there. That's very straightforward.
That's really the same thing with Ice Cube's No Vaseline.
Bruh.
That was straight up. I'm going to talk shit on your name. I am not going to do it in a witty way. There are no metaphors. This is a friendly competition. This is a friendly competition. Look, you are not my queen. You will not enjoy this.
Yo.
Had to throw the 300 out on their ad. Listen.
Amazing reference.
Yo, like that's what that was. Like there was a time we would get mad over this. Like if somebody wrote, as a hip hopper, somebody wrote a diss song towards you. You would get mad at it. But that's anger on a different level.
Yeah.
When a motherfucker come out and like he's personal. These are ad hominem personal attacks that are vile and these are fighting. This is the definition of fighting words. These are fighting words.
I never knew that was a result of a Supreme Court case.
Yes.
The whole fighting words thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
It's the acknowledgement of this. I hate when I see rappers do this shit, especially because you live and breathe off of words and their usage and what they mean and the power and the impact. When I hear people say it's only why you getting mad over words? Yo, when I hear a rapper say that, I'm like, you just gave everybody who don't fuck with hip hop permission to completely disregard what you do. Because if words don't have power, the shit you saying don't have impact. But we know they do. Yo, they literally use words to sign declarations of war. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
You don't see the scenario where somebody travels to another country and goes to meet their leader and they pull out a rubber glove and they smack them in their face. That's not a thing.
Bro, declaration of war. We declare war. Like, and to end the war, treaty.
Mm-hmm. Treaty.
Like, these words now, they'll say, well, they had the power that you give it to them. Right. But to me, that's circular reasoning, sir.
Yes. You give the power, you give words the power.
Who else needs words?
Power from the words. Right.
Animals don't need words. Who else needs words?
It's us.
Our whole society is structured on the ability to communicate with each other.
Doing something because it's necessary does not eliminate the fact that you're doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what? I had to. Okay, you still did it.
I just it's dumb to me because what it does is it ignores the human equation every time. Yep. Every time, in order to make some dumbass point or to avoid taking accountability for certain shit, right? And accountability for what you say, right? Yo, Palmer's ass. like that's what it comes down to me. People don't want to be held accountable for the point of views that they express in no type of way. So the first thing they say is it's just words. I'll tell you one thing, it's certain words you say to my kids, just when my kids were little, I dare you. I dare you and think I won't whip your motherfucking ass out in these streets. Words have power, yo. We not doing that. We not doing that. We're not doing that. Now, how you respond to it, that's something else. You can make the case about level of severity of
you can take the power away from certain words.
Yeah, but come on, bro. We not doing that. Words definitely got power.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just it is what it is.
Basically, I think that's it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's it.
Like, my business, Napalm. Like yours before you jump in the tub. But yeah, like that's pretty much it for us today. We actually didn't go as long as we thought we was going to go. No. Yeah, we got all of that in. I want to thank everybody, once again, joining us for another rousing Saturday of the Black Culture Geek Saturday morning cartoon block. Certified by the Supreme Court. Certified by Supreme Court. Once again, let me ask you this: is there going to be another?
No.
There is no.
I had no time. I was
true.
I was out the country.
That's true for a whole week. Shit. We want to thank everybody once again for joining us. Do not forget to go check out my man Jada Nerd's channel. Go check out the Metas and Mutants podcast with my man Super Sci Guy. And of course, if you have not already purchased your issue 0 of Extropy and Entropy, the Fulcrum Point, go to the website, majesticcomics.com.
Jump on that.
Go cop that. You know what I'm saying? This nigga's ass.
He can't
Napalm's
help
ass.
Can't help it.
So for my man SPJ, I am Tombstone the Dead Man, and for the greater multi-world entertainment family, we are out. Peace.